cats and gamers! Welcome to No Category Left Behind, the GDQ hotfix show that showcases category extension speedruns. I'm your host, Nuclear Reaction, and tonight I've got a special treat for y'all. We've got some Super Mario Odyssey World Peace, but done damageless. I'm super excited for this show. But before we get started, I do have some announcements. SGDQ 2022 on-site volunteer applications are closed. But if you'd like to help out with any of our off-site volunteering positions, keep your eyes on the website and Twitter for more information upcoming. Also, hello if you're watching on YouTube. Go to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick if you're interested in looking at our live content, starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. Your subs, gift subs, Prime Gaming subs, and bits help support weekly hotfix content. Please consider supporting our daily content if you enjoy these hotfix shows. All right, so tonight, as I said, we've got Cheese James here. They are going to be showcasing for us some damageless Super Mario Odyssey. I'm really excited, and we also got T-Man Dan commentating, who I know has done a lot of work with the damageless side of this. James, what got you into running Damageless Odyssey?
Just like probably watching Tippy and Ferd get the first two completions really inspired me. And then Dan is one of my really close friends, and he got a completion, and then that kind of inspired me to start pushing for it a little bit more. And at the time, there was just a lot of competition in the category that just kept me going.
Yeah, there's I want to say for chat too that you and Dan are two of only 5 people who have done all moons completely damageless, which is absolutely incredible.
It is a very brutal run. I've had runs where I was 8-9 hours deep, and I make one tiny slip up, and it's just over, and it's the most heartbreaking thing ever.
I might have you beat at 16 and a half hours in and one little mistake. 800 plus moons.
Oh gosh, that's so brutal. Yeah, so chat, you can imagine both of these runners have put in an immense amount of time into damageless Mario Odyssey. Have either of you done any other games damageless at all, or is this...
This is my
Odyssey's your focus.
This is my only one, but maybe eventually I'll branch out to more.
Yeah, I've considered trying others, but I've put so much energy into Odyssey Damageless. It's daunting.
Yeah, I definitely could feel that, especially with all the time and hours you both have probably put into this game. That, yeah, this is definitely, it's a big project and it's really impressive. So I can't wait to see how it is. So James, whenever you're ready to count us down and get started.
Okay, I'll count down from 3 and we'll start on go. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you, Dan.
We're all counting on you.
So my hope for this is that I can get through all of World Peace Damageless. It's going to be a little bit scary. There are some problematic parts, like luncheon. That's like the main thing that's probably scaring me right now, because I did a run on Saturday and I had a handful of close calls there, so we'll see.
I think I'm probably more scared for your mech.
But
I know you do something entirely different than me.
I guess in cap we could go over the basics that aren't really damages related. I'm playing in Chinese because it's the fastest language, less text boxes because there's less characters in the language. I am rolling with Mario because as the fastest movement option, I am shaking the controller to roll. And I'm going to play that safe. I'm not going to jump over that railing. And to get max speed, I'm going to be doing a bunch of spin pounds all over the place. That's just the fastest way to build up speed in this game.
I will say, as far as world peace, using the fastest language is just fine. If you are going for all 880 moons, I would recommend switching to your native language, because there are some parts where you're going to want to read the dialogue and answer accordingly.
Okay, so I guess with this frog, I'm just going to be doing some frog vectors. There's pretty much no real way to take damage as the frog. As long as you're consistently holding forward, the Goombas aren't a threat because the frog will just bounce on their heads. So as long as you're just not neutral on the stick at any point with the frog, you're safe. And we'll just speed through that room real quickly. And then I'm going to go for a trick here that's just a little bit fancy looking called left side. Just gonna scale the wall just like that, using a vault. Save 2 seconds. And I'm gonna play Topper nice and slow here, so I don't take any damage. Just like that. Easy peasy. That's the first kingdom done in probably less than 2.5 minutes. We're flying.
Nicely done.
So the first 2 kingdoms aren't really much to note. The only threats are the bosses in these first 2 kingdoms. Like Topper, and Topper's literally cake. I've probably taken damage to him less than 10 times. It's literally a cakewalk. And then same thing for Nambrudel here. The run really gets started once we hit Sand Kingdom. These first 2 kingdoms are kind of tutorials.
And I would say Damageless, like, it's a really interesting balance between wanting to go as fast as possible, but also wanting to really take your time to be safe. Safety and patience really pays off in this category. So a lot of the bosses may be very different or just slightly different than you might see in a typical speedrun.
What is World Peace? That's a good question. World Peace is separate from any percent. I guess we forgot to explain this, but it's separate from any percent in that any percent's only goal is getting to credits as fast as you possibly can with any and all skips. This doesn't do all the skips any percent does. The goal of this category is to fight and kill every boss in the game and to give peace to every single kingdom, so to speak. Nice, next little skip here. I'm just going to use this T-Rex to bounce on this trampoline and then fly up to my Nambrudel, and then at the top of the jump, I'm going to uncapture, capture, and dive. And then for this boss, I'm just going to backflip on the chomp. Do a timed backflip with throwing Cappy out there so the Cappy hits it on the way back. And that was a little bit mistimed, no big deal. I can just shake, and there we go.
If you wanted to be more safe with this, you can stay far back, watch where the chomp arrows will line up, and then just slowly knock off the hats and go sideways to get out of the way of the next lurch. That's probably the slower, safer way if you're not comfortable with the speedy strats.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a handful of speedrun strats throughout just because I come from a speedrun background and that's what I'm comfortable with for a lot of these bosses because I've done these speedrun strats probably thousands of times. So.
Yeah. And I would say, like being locked into speed strats is probably one of the hardest things for new Damageless runners to overcome. That speedrunner mentality is a real killer for sure.
I'm going to do something a little bit fancy here just to avoid that chomp over to my right there. I'm going to come down to this chest, I'm going to hop on top of it, and I'm going to do a backflip and a timed capture to clip Mario through the ceiling here. And that was odd. I clipped out there, but Mario got pushed back in somehow. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. And I'll point out the only reason you're going for that clip is because it's pretty safe. If you do fail it and you're out of bounds, you just fall into water anyway.
Yeah, there's no real risk. That's probably the least important clip I'm going to do all day. The one in snow is a lot more important.
Oh, and I'll mention that as far as the category of like all 880, the way that it's ranked on speedrun.com is by moon count. It's the only one based on that. So as many moons as you collect Damageless is your PB on there. And the moons only count if they are banked into the Odyssey. So at this bank, Cheese James now has 5 as the run.
Yeah.
If you collect several and do not bank and take damage, those do not count toward a PB.
Okay, I am going to do a little bit of a different round than the normal speed run. World Peace right here. This is a route I came up with, so I don't have to do any moons at all during the nighttime portion of sand here. I'm just gonna grab a couple extras during the daytime portion that are quick. And,
did you
save.
mean to not grab the checkpoint right there?
Yeah, I don't need it.
Okay. Yeah. When you're entering Night Metro, it can be very slightly safer to grab that checkpoint in the very beginning, but it's only minimally safer.
Well, I'm not gonna be warping to it, so I don't need it.
Yeah, I guess there are multiple routes. You're gonna be riding Jaxi, right?
Yeah, we'll get to
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Oh, good dropped input there. If this one thing this game does well is drop inputs. One of many.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess I'd rather have it here than a scarier portion. Oh, pass up the min. Now I'm gonna go for a strat here called Dram Strat. It'll essentially let me teleport up to a bullet bill here. We'll see if I can nail it. That should be good. Yep.
Nice job.
And now this is probably the hardest part of sand technically. There's no risk of damage with this, but in terms of just like inputs, this is a pretty tight clip I'm going to be doing here. It's called IP clip. My goal is to clip through this pyramid wall here with Mario. It might take me a handful of tries, we'll see. Oh, look at that, second try.
Ooh, nice job.
Okay. And the reason I do that is because it's going to let me skip doing the round tower and the shards portion of the sand, which have risk associated with them. That right there has no risk of damage whatsoever. So I'm just going to be doing that.
Yeah, and there are a lot of little minor elements to incorporate. For example, right there, Cheese James went over the platform. Just in case something went wrong with going up onto the ledge, they would fall to the platform below rather than off the cliff.
Yeah,
Little things like that to keep in mind throughout the run can make a huge difference.
I shouldn't have hesitated there. I don't know why I did that.
Yeah. Also being ready to warp. Like if you bonk near an enemy, be ready to warp out so the enemy doesn't walk into you.
Okay, cool. I don't know why I put that so weird. We're fine. I'm going to do a little bit of a safety strat here as well. I'm going to capture this bullet bill so I don't have to worry about long jumping over gaps here. There we go.
Yeah. I timed that and it only loses like 2 seconds over the jump over the fence and across the gap.
If you want to explain Harriet, you can go ahead, Dan. I'm not really going to be doing too much fancy here.
Okay, yeah, Harriet's pretty easy. As long as you are facing Harriet, Harriet 1 right here will throw 1 bomb. You just jump up, throw your cap straight out. It'll knock the bomb back into Harriet. You can then bop Harriet's head. Repeat a couple of times, and it's over.
Yeah, I will also mention I'm going to specific parts of the arena here. So during this phase right here where Harriet's going to throw a bomb at me, she jumps a couple less times and it saves me a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
But
with later fights... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, that's minuscule. That's not really required for damage. It's just the smaller times I would like to do.
Yeah. With later Harriet fights, she'll throw 2 bombs, and there's a manipulation where you can actually throw Cappy into Harriet before she throws any bombs and get her to flinch with a metal sound effect 4 times. She'll skip straight to the hair bombs that are connected to her hair, and those are a little easier to manipulate than the smaller bombs.
Yeah, does that work here too? I've actually never tried it on that first one because I've always just used the small bombs. Does that also work in the first one?
It works on all fights, but it's not really necessary since
Okay.
the first one is so easy.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so to avoid all the mummies here in Night Sand, I'm going to pay for the Jaxi over here and use him to traverse through Night Sand.
Yeah, and if you stay to the right of the pathway, don't roll straight down that pathway. Stay to the right. I like to recommend people grab those 2 purple coins because it encourages them to go to the right of that pathway to avoid those mummies. And that's the spot where I was talking about if you had grabbed that checkpoint, you could have warped to it to completely bypass any chance of mummy spawning as well.
Yeah, I just know as long as I'm in the underneath the shadow, then I'm safe. I'm gonna quickly grab the spin with the Goombas, just because I need an extra moon here. And that one's relatively safe and quick.
Yeah, if you wanted to take that a little safer, you could actually bring that larger stack over to the overhang and grab the few more up top and stack, and then just jump up with the Goombas to grab the moon and then continue on. Just another one of those minimal optimizations that make it a little bit safer.
I'm also not going for any of these fast bullet bill captures because if I failed them, I would die. So, not really worth it. Just gonna play a little bit safer, lose a couple of seconds, and just capture these bullet bills from the platform there. And
do you want to explain this boss, or should I?
I can explain it. What I'm gonna do over here for this first phase, I'm just gonna walk underneath that icicle, and then I'm gonna long jump away and throw Cappy to capture this fist and knock it right into Knuckle Tech. The way you kill this boss is just by punching him in the face with his own fist. Kind of a gimmick we've seen before in Mario games. Specifically Mario 64, that's the one that's coming to mind. And then as long as I'm hugging this back wall here, none of these icicles will fall on me.
For this capture right here, you either want to capture immediately like Cheese James did, or wait until the fist goes flat on the ground completely before capturing. Because if you try to capture while the fist is moving from punch to flat, it will prevent Cappy from actually capturing, and the other fist can have a chance to come in and punch.
And then for this phase, I'm just going to be doing some jump dives, make sure I'm out of the way of the fist here. Just like that. Okay. And I saw a question in the chat that asked about the moon dates. My clock on my Switch is incorrect because of a trick called daylight savings time abuse. It's not used in this category at all, but it essentially lets all the seeds in the game grow faster. And so my clock's incorrect because of that. It's never accurate. Oh, I'm a moon down, I think. I missed a moon somewhere.
I think it was the mural, the 2D mural in the inverted
yeah,
pyramid.
I did. Thank you. I can just get the Taurus.
Taurus is a very good backup, especially if you're going to be going
not a
for...
moon. That's not a moon. I could,
well, yeah, that's true.
I could get slots.
Okay.
No big deal. Yeah, 2D mural was... I wasn't quite sure if I had to get that one or not. I kind of blanked.
Yeah, you will be wanting to grab the tourist anyway if you will be going for everything, just to start the tourist chain of moons in progress for the rest of the run. For World Peace, I don't think it's really that important, though.
There we go. And then it would be faster for me to warp back here. Okay, and just like that, we're going to be on to Lake Kingdom, which is a quicker one.
Yeah. I will say that if you find, like, a couple of spots, you have the choice to either go to lake or wooded first, or later on to go to snow or seaside. I would recommend that if you find yourself having trouble in one or the other of either of those, try choosing that one first for your runs until you get more comfortable with it, because you can cut down on reset points. If you take damage anywhere in this run, that's a hard reset point, and the run is completely over. There is no recovery from damage in Damageless.
So for Lake Kingdom here, instead of having to fight two bosses like we did in Sand with Harriet and Knuckle Tech, we only have to fight Ringo here. So we're only going to be seeing one boss and then a handful of quick, easy mins.
So which areas would you each say is like the more difficult areas for you for Damageless?
I would say definitely Luncheon and Bowser's.
Yeah, and for like all moons, or just for the world peace?
Let's go with both.
Okay.
They're different answers, yeah.
Yeah, world peace, I would say probably Luncheon, I guess, just because of Cookatiel. And yeah, as far as like all moons, Dark Side is a huge one, as well as the Cookatiel rematch specifically. That rematch is so brutal.
Yeah, we'll be showcasing both of those later, and everyone will get to see how absolutely brutal both of those are, and downright just unfair sometimes with Cookatiel rematch. I've had a handful of times with that Cookatiel rematch where I've taken a hit and it just hasn't felt like my fault.
Yeah, a lot of RNG, but there are ways to mitigate that RNG as best we can.
Now, I'm actually, instead of doing the speedrun skip here, I'm going to hop over to this island, and there is... Oh, I messed up my height a little bit. There is a flower here that I can use to get over to this Ringo boss fight a little bit safer, so I don't have to deal with the Goombas.
And that path right there is what I would also recommend as far as KFR.
And for this Ringo fight, I'm just going to do that for the first phase.
Yeah, you just stay neutral on the stick, throw Cappy out and hold Cappy in place. Rango will throw his hat right into Cappy every time for that first hit.
There we go. And now I'm just going to do the speedrun shot, because that is the safest option, I believe, for this fight.
And this is the only time we'll actually fight Rango in this World Peace run. We will be skipping Rango entirely in Snow Kingdom.
Now, Wooded is another one of those longer kingdoms where we're going to have to fight two bosses, but it shouldn't be too bad. I'm not too worried about Wooded. I personally think Wooded's a little bit easier than Sand, even.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I was thinking, yeah, that's a tough call. Spirit does have some janky hitboxes sometimes.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's actually the opposite of... it's not having Mario take any damage the entire time. That's currently what we are trying. Okay, just to drop this key, I'm gonna grab this rock and ram it into this bunny's face right here, just to get 2 quick mins. Now with this upcoming moon here, there is this is another spot where we could do one of those moon cups, but I'm gonna opt not to because it doesn't really give us any benefit in this category. Specifically, it would only save like a handful of seconds, so it's not really worth doing. I'm just gonna bust it open like that.
That Fire Bro below, coincidentally, is the very first run I ever tried. That's where I took damage. Nostalgia, that Fire Bro there.
Oh, there we go. And something you're gonna see me do throughout this entire run is just stay a little bit far away from the captors just to make sure I don't take damage to them. And I'm just gonna triple jump just to get past these guys here nice and safely. And then just kill that fight nice and easily like that. And I'm just going to opt to take this Flower Road, play a little bit safer here. No reason to risk any fancy jumps or anything here. Although I just said that, but I'm going to do this one right here because it's essentially free. I don't know if I've ever messed that one up.
I approve of any minor optimization that makes it just a little bit safer.
I should also mention.
Kudos to you.
I should also mention that typical World Peace speedruns would not do this tower portion right here. They would do a trick called tower skip, but if you fail that, you die. So I'm just gonna opt to do this tower. It's not really that much slower. If I could get up here with the upper, that would be great.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Okay, Spirit. This guy should be pretty easy.
Yeah. Cheese James and I do this fight a little bit differently than one another. I definitely prefer the backflip strat, where Cheese James opts to jump and throw Cappy. I find my luck with this strategy is a little bit off because the hitbox can be very misleading with Spirit.
Yeah, just like that. Nice and quick. Easy boss. The only thing I really changed for my speedruns for this boss is I was standing on the coin ring there, just so I could time my jump a little bit easier.
Yeah, one of the things I love about Damageless is that there are so many different ways to play Damageless. And finding that way that just works for you is so rewarding when everything comes together and eventually you can string everything together with your own personal way is nice. Not having to rely on any specific set routing, just going for all the moves you possibly can. It's great.
I'm gonna kill those two tanks, just so they aren't a threat to me.
There's low-level anxiety as far as taking damage, but not trying to go fast and losing a few seconds here and there. So it's like a different level of different type of anxiety than speedrunning.
Oh, I always thought I was bonking there.
Favorite kind of tea? I would say Thai iced tea, probably. It's
Whoa,
so
okay.
good.
Come on, controller.
But my answer always changes.
I'm gonna dodge these bombs here a little bit.
The fastest is the winner. So
There we go.
only
That was a little bit scary.
only if you have all 880 moons does the timer actually matter. So getting that 880 spot, I feel, is a good first priority. And once you've done it once, you can very likely do it again, and you can really focus on getting it faster and faster.
Okay. This next box, short drift, not too bad. There was actually a little bit of a skip. I don't know if you'd call it a skip even. There's some blocks you can sit on to skip some of the danger in this battle showcase here.
And these blocks are actually gone in the rematch. So the rematch is definitely more challenging in that regard.
And I find as long as I just don't stop moving, these lasers that are shooting at me will never hit me. So that's kind of what I do.
For the second and third phase, when those blocks appear, they start rotating typically, but there's a manipulation that you can actually prevent them from rotating as you go around and bop them. When they first appear, they'll kind of shake a little bit. If you wait until that shake happens and then bop the first block, it'll prevent the other two from spinning.
And just like I did there, now the blocks are kind of stationary and I don't have to worry about hitting a moving target.
Yeah, because if you miss, you're basically taking damage.
Yeah. And this,
One other thing... sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, right here, this block I'm sitting on top of is kind of the safety block I mentioned earlier. You can see none of the lasers, all the lasers aren't a threat anymore.
Yeah. One other oddity about this fight is that there is a small chance that you'll clip through the floor when you're getting the bops on actual torque drift. But it's very rare. Just be ready to uncapture if you find yourself falling through the floor, because it might be salvageable.
And just like that, we're done with Wooded Kingdom. Still, Mario's still clean, no damage taken.
Nice.
Next game is going to be Cloud, and it's a quick one. It's just a boss fight, and then we're kind of out of there. Should be less than a 2-minute kingdom, actually.
Yeah, Bowser fights are interesting because, I guess like most of the run, it's a fine balance of wanting to go fast, but finding the safest way to do so. Like, going for the really fast strats is really difficult to not take damage, but it is technically possible to do the fastest strategy without damage. But the more time you take, the safer you can get.
Okay, so Bowser's gonna hit her ship. Actually, no, we're just gonna see him. I forgot the plot. It's all this cutscene skipping. He hits our ship later. Don't worry. I am gonna opt to jump over this gap. I don't know if I've ever failed that.
I have.
I think I have once. Back in like 2018.
Yeah, I was a little too close with Cappy throw to the second hat, so Cappy slightly homed into that cat and made the cloud appear, and I went through instead of bouncing on Cappy. So if you're going to jump over that gap, make sure you are clear of potentially hitting those hats on the way over.
And just for this fight, I'm just gonna hit the white hat with Cappy, and then I'm putting Cappy underneath the hat and then holding Cappy out, and then homing him in once I get a little bit closer to Bowser to skip over his fire phase. Easy peasy.
Lost Kingdom is a lot scarier than it looks. Wait, it looks a lot scarier than it is. I said that wrong.
Yeah, I'm not going to be going for the fancy meme tree jump here. I'm going to do a little bit of a modified 90% route here. Just to make it a little bit of a safer kingdom. I'm going to go for the old school 2017 cage strat here. I don't know if anyone remembers this, but I'm doing this strat right here.
Cage strat is definitely safer than meme tree. If you want to be even safer, you could allow yourself to be kleptoed. It's a trade-off though, because there's movement without Cappy instead of jumping over poison slightly. So definitely trade-offs, either one of those.
And for all the speedrunners watching, the one route Kent made there was I just got cave gardening instead of on the mountain road, just because it's more in my path with the cage route. And then to make sure Klepto doesn't bother us and we can traverse the whole kingdom, I do gotta walk on this platform there. Just to kind of put him in action there, make him think that he's so happy. Whenever he in fact did not. And I'm actually gonna play this spin safe, because this is definitely one I've taken damage to before.
I like to even crouch whenever I use the Trapedals, because if you're on flat ground, Trapedal will go straight over Mario if,
but like if
they
I'm
happen to miss the block.
If I'm on top of the block, there's no way I can take a hit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing.
I am a little paranoid when I play. and has gotten me far. I fully admit that.
And I'm gonna go over on this bridge here. Just play. Oh, I wasn't ready for that. Play it a little bit safer. I don't want to risk any wall jumps over poison because sometimes Mario just doesn't cooperate.
Yeah. Anytime I can cut out a wall jump or a cappy bounce, I definitely try to do so when I figure out the strats I want to use, because those are potential fail points, and if they can be eliminated, all the better.
Okay, on to Metro here, but surprise, there's gonna be a Wiggler, and it's gonna be raining, and it's not gonna be fun yet. But once we defeat this Wiggler, then it's gonna be fun for a little bit, because we're gonna have a couple minutes of just complete safety.
Yeah, Day Metro is absolutely the break of the run. As far as danger. Night Metro, however, can be quite a formidable first bit of challenge for anyone starting out. A minor optimization coming up here to be safe is when you jump over this building, instead of the speedy strat going to the right over the gap of death, jump up to the left, and it's nice and safe.
Just like that. Also, I'm going to be going a little bit fast here in some spots. Oh, I don't... Okay, that's fine. My long jump got eaten. I'm going to be going a little bit fast in some of these spots whenever I'm near the flies, just because if I'm faster, they won't spawn and not bother me.
This climb, to reiterate, like, if it's really easy to bonk and fall, and there's always mini Goombas waiting for you. So if you do ever bonk, be ready to warp out, because that's your only saving grace in this room.
I'm just gonna wait this cycle out. The Goombas were kind of being problematic. There we go. There we go. Whoops. Turn around, Mario.
Cheese James here is jumping up the left side, because if they jump past the pole for some reason, they'll fall to the right onto platforms rather than backward into a death plane.
And this jump actually looks scarier than it is. If you do end up bonking or getting a value dive, there's a very high chance you're going to fall onto ground and not into the death void. It is like probably 70 to 80% ground down there, so you would have to go out of your way to kind of die.
Yeah, the camera can be funky, but it's manageable.
There we go. Just gonna kill
Are
that
you gonna be... Sorry, go ahead.
I said I just wanted to make sure I killed that tank there so it doesn't cause a problem. And then I'm not gonna do anything fancy here, we're just gonna dodge.
Yep. Dodging is absolutely the way to go with, like, not trying the fast strat. If you do want to experiment with the fast strat, there's a little graphic that looks like a house, and if you park in front of the house and wait for the first pass and then dodge, then it can make the rest of the safeties, speedy stuff safer. There are two main camps when it comes to the fireballs: shooting the fireballs or dodging. I personally like dodging because shooting...
I'm gonna do a little bit of both here. I'm gonna shoot 4 and then leave 1 alive.
Yeah. If you shoot and you miss, while shooting, Mario is incapable of moving with the tank. So you want to be ready to uncapture if you decide to shoot.
This is going to be a 3 cycle. No biggie. We'll just go through another phase here. Part of the reason I like shooting is just because I'm used to it for the rematch of this guy. Mm-hmm. It's good to practice it here because it's easier to shoot here.
Yeah, definitely merits of both. And definitely backups for both to be aware of.
There we go. No big deal, I only missed 1 eye there.
Yeah, one way that I actually like to practice the bosses that do go on continuously is I'll specifically avoid getting the final hit so that I can draw out the fight as long as possible. And once I hit like the 15-20 minute mark in a fight without taking damage, just keeping it going, I know that I have a pretty good grasp on that boss, and I can move on to another one. That's a good way that I've found to practice and really get consistent with these bosses.
No, Day Metro is going to be safe for a little bit here until we dip into the sewers. There's not really much risk at all. I'm just going to be grabbing some equipment and grabbing all 4 musicians to progress the story. Not really much to note for the first handful of minutes here in Day Metro. I will be doing another one of those fancy looking jam shots, though. Hopefully I can nail it here. That should be just fine. Yep. Now, people who are better than me would use a scooter to clip into this moon, but I don't know how to do that, so we're just going to use this RC car.
No shame in that.
And of course, we have to talk to the benchman. It's not an Odyssey speedrun if you don't talk to this guy. Probably one of the best moons in the game.
I've had a couple of questions in chat. I don't know if we know this, who's done this Damageless the fastest?
Fur underscore.
Fur is
okay.
definitely the fastest, followed by Tippy, and then Cheese James, and then myself, and then It's Whales.
Okay.
It's Whales actually did it on 2 days. They ended up sleeping for like 9 hours of their run and just kept recording.
Yeah, and that is completely valid as long as you keep your stream and your video running. They have, I think, a 24.5-hour time.
I don't know if anyone caught it there, but I did a little bit of a glitch. If you bump into Pauline right before you talk to the drummer there, the band room will be empty. That's one of the good luck strats I do. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, I think first time is a 9:42. Tippy's is a 10:38, I want to say. Cheese James is 13:46, is it?
I think it's lower. It's like 41 or 42.
40. Okay, yeah, 13:41. I guess, yeah. Mine is a 15:07, and It's Whales I think is a 24:21. I want to say.
And to note, chat, that's for all of the moons too. So that's not what is being run tonight, but that's kind of the big challenge that these folk have done with this game is to do all the moons damageless. So we're getting just like a taste of that tonight.
Yeah, just
that's hours and minutes, not minutes and seconds, by the way.
We're just gonna showcase the fun parts, the hardest parts tonight. Let's see if I can get a bullseye here. That's way off. Okay, never mind.
Nope.
There we go.
If that's the worst thing that happens in this run, then that's excellent.
And now the safety is over. We're gonna have to enter into the sewers now. Our little break is over now.
Yes. You'll be going the speedy way through the sewers, right?
Yeah, just because that's what I'm comfortable with. And mainly just 'cause I don't have to grab the purples for what we're doing today. So.
Yeah, definitely 2 approaches. There's a slow way, which I prefer. Slow and methodical, take out the flies, get all the purples, and you're good. Or with the speedy way, if you go fast enough before the flies fully spawn, then you can actually just barrel right through them in their larva form.
You can see they spawned, but they didn't even acknowledge me. Oh, got it, man.
With this next room, there's manipulation with the plants. You're going to stand in a specific spot and do a series of down throws just to be safe, right outside of their range of spit.
I also like to make sure I wait for them to spit as well, because if I don't, it can cause some problems. Oh, I'm a little bit low.
Once you grab the moon, all the rest of the purple goo despawns. But if you jump and dive past the moon and land in the purple, which I have done in a run, your run is over.
That's actually why I just walked up to the moon there.
Yeah, absolutely the safer way to go. Minor optimizations.
And now for what typically is a pretty fun part, but in this category it's a little bit scary. The festival. Gotta kill Donkey Kong.
I find personally for me, what helps me with 2D areas is just walking everywhere. Very rarely, in case I need to, will I ever run in a 2D section. And that way I have more control over my timing, over enemies and gaps and stuff.
Oh, hold on. I wasn't holding up.
And there's barrels falling from the ceiling. I like to wait until the one passes and then jump over the gap. Because that is a dangerous sniper right there. If you try to run through before it spawns.
I personally like to make sure I'm running over the gaps. At least, just to make sure I clear them. But I do walk in some parts of this festival.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't need this, man. Typically in an open speedrun, you would grab the festival secret man right there, but I'm opting not to grab it because I don't need it. It's a slower man. I also think it makes this part a little bit harder. The movement out of the pipe's a little bit more awkward. And I'm waiting for a specific cue right there just to make sure this top barrel right there doesn't hit me and I can get under those blocks safely. I came up with that visual cue on my own. I kind of just start running there right before the barrel hits, rolls into the fire. And then I make it under that barrel every time. I'm gonna wait one barrel. There we go. Just like that, Donkey Kong defeated. Just about halfway through this run and Mario's still completely clean.
Nice.
And now would be a great time to take our wellness break. So if you want to go ahead and count us down to pause the timer, whenever you're ready for that.
If you want, we could, I can bake the moons and then the Odyssey will fade out right before the next kingdom. So we could do that.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Okay, I think it's like 20 seconds from right there. But once the banner shows up, it'll be about 5. So right now, so like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we could just take our break right there.
Awesome. All right, chat. Here on GDQ Hotfix, we like to take wellness breaks. So we're just going to take a 5-minute break. Go ahead and get up and stretch, maybe use the bathroom, get a snack, refill your drink, and we'll be back with more Mario Odyssey. Category Left Behind, the GDQ Hotfix show that showcases category extension speedruns. I'm your host, Nuclear Reaction, and tonight we've got Cheese James showcasing Damageless Super Mario Odyssey. Before we jump back into the content, I do have a couple announcements. Games Time Quick Highlights is a channel that features highlights of our GDQ Hotfix shows. Use the command highlights to learn more about our highlights. Also, SGDQ 2022 on-site volunteer applications are closed. But if you'd like to help with any of our off-site volunteering positions, keep your eyes on our website and Twitter for more information upcoming. All right, we'll get back into this. James was just telling me that upcoming here is now where the run really starts to change. James, do you want to let our viewers kind of know what are things that they should be looking out for that might be different from a normal
So,
speed run of this?
So the next game I'm going to do here, Snow, is not really different because there is no boss. It's literally just a race because we get to skip all the scary stuff, and I'll showcase that. But that's the same as the speed run. But Seaside's completely different. Luncheon is completely different. Ruined is different. Bowser's is different. And then Moon is a little bit different, just a little bit safer. But Seaside, Luncheon, Ruined, and Bowser's are definitely the biggest changes to normal speed running of this game for safety.
Well, I'm curious to see how it goes. Are you ready to get back into the run?
Yep.
All right, I'll go ahead and count you down here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, there we go. And we're just gonna match A here. Choose Snow, just like I said. And this is probably arguably one of the safest kingdoms for World Peace. If you do the proper strats here, you can skip the Rango boss fight entirely. You never have to fight Rango. And then you can kind of just go right into the Bound Bowl race, and I'll showcase that pretty quickly here once we get there.
Yeah, World Peace is absolutely safer than doing any of the side rooms.
Yeah, this is a kingdom where, even for beginners, like if it's your first time ever seeing the Snow Kingdom in a Damageless run, a lot, like me, Dan, and a lot of the other top-level Damageless runners would recommend just doing World Peace instead of the any % route with the rooms.
Yeah, it does have a tricky clip, but, like, do your best to learn it because it is so much safer.
Okay, and coming up here, I'm going to attempt the Snow Moon clip. It is going to save us a good chunk of time if I'm able to nail this, so let's get some buses in chat for this clip, because this is not an easy clip. Okay, I'm going to even just play this a little bit safer and do that. Okay, I think I got it. Nice.
Nice. There is a backup downstairs if you do end up missing that, where you can clip in and still get through.
That is a huge weight off of my shoulders. That was one of the things I wanted to make sure I went right, because I've been struggling with the roll cancels all day.
Yeah, nice job. And the thing that clip right there skips is all 4 of the rooms. So even if you are going for all of the moons, you can come back later in post games, and they're actually safer in post games. You can get all 3 of them in one pass, and there are extra elements that make the rooms safer, such as an extra Taifu and a couple other things. With like one exception, they're all safer. And Rango never has to be fought anywhere in all 880 moons.
Now, something fun I like to do for this race, and a lot of streamers as well, is I like to have chat guess the time here. Good guesses for me are between 55 and 100. And also include 2 decimals in there. And you know what? If someone gets it right to the exact millisecond, I'll offer up a gift sub.
2319.
So get in your guesses.
I also want to say that this this race is completely 100% safe. There is no way that we have been able to find in our rigorous testing to take damage.
And by rigorous testing,
if you fall off,
and by rigorous testing, Dan means I booted up the game, tried to fall off, and then just quit. So it was like 10 seconds.
I spent like a half an hour trying to take damage. I couldn't figure it out. You just spawn right back on the course if you fall off, and there's no way to get high enough to even touch the other Shavarians, so even if that were a thing for some reason, you can't really do it.
This was a really good race for me. I will take a 5688.
Very nice.
Do we have any 5688s in chat? Ooh, Skilltron was really close.
I see a couple close ones. I see a 5683 from Miami Andy.
Yeah, no 5688s, unfortunately.
Oh, Skilltron, yeah, with the 5689s. So close.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen people get 1 millisecond off. That is common. No winners today, Sag. You get them next time, Skilltron. And now because I did that clip. There is no risk really for this day portion of snow either, other than freezing in the water, but lol.
Will you be attempting tram?
Yeah, I'll go for Snow Jam.
Nice.
It didn't go great in practice, but we'll see what I can make happen.
Yeah, snow jam is one of those tricks even I go for because it's totally safe. As long as if you fall in the water, you warp away, there's like no risk.
Yeah, you can see
Even if you clip through,
Oh,
there's still another wall to prevent you from going
this
out of
bunny's
bounds
being
fully.
annoying. There we go. Oh, there we go. That's fine. And yeah, as long as you're jumping, like, as long as you're like diving and even cap diving while you're in the ice water, there's essentially no risk of you taking damage to it. No,
Yeah,
unfortunately, this moon is really fast. It is RNG, so let's hope this fish doesn't take all day.
Yeah, a cap
And
bounce
first try bite.
out of the water is enough to reset the timer. First try, dang.
Yeah, I got lucky there. I can't. I
That
want to
makes up
say
for the bunny.
I want to say that on my past like 5 runs, that fish has been like 10th try or more bite. It has been very annoying recently, so I'm very happy that went well. Okay, let's see if I can nail this trick.
You've been nailing all the tricks so far.
Ah.
Oh
Close.
no, I jinxed it. Oh no.
What? How was that? Okay, whatever. Hopefully this doesn't take me too long. It shouldn't take more than like a try or two. We'll see. Ah, really? Okay. And this is what I mean by this trick not being nice today. I'm like barely mistiming something. I'm mistiming something by like frames.
We believe in you. You got this.
I guess it was too much to ask to get both the moon clip and this trick. Oh, fumbled the inputs. Seriously? Okay, I'm gonna give it like one more try, and then I could just go get a different moon. I don't want to spend all day here. That doesn't count. What happened there is sometimes if Cappy is just barely too far off the edge, your cap bounce will get eaten. I hate that. Oh, that's the most annoying one.
That looked like it. Oh.
Yeah, what happened there was... I'm gonna go get the backup. What happened there was I clipped through the ledge. So Mario collided with the corner of the Snow Gem Island in just a perfect way that he'll just clip through the corner.
Honestly, that's a better showcase of how safe it is, though. Even if you clip through, you don't take damage. And it's arguably more impressive. Because if you were any higher or any lower, you would have either made it or completely bonked.
No biggie. It happens. This is also the backup moon that I was gonna get.
I just want to point out again that you got that snow clip though, real quick, like that. That was the biggie one.
Yeah.
And second try IP clip? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I do think that IP clip is a million times easier than any of these snow clips, though.
I totally disagree, because this is the one I've focused on in snow.
Okay, here's the kingdom that the first kingdom that's like really changed for world peace. So I'm gonna be going out of my way to make sure I don't hit any of the buttons until I'm ready, because hitting the buttons spawns bombs in the kingdom. So I'm gonna be doing 2 laps throughout the kingdom. And the other thing I'm changing is I'm making sure I'm not going in the water much at all, because all the moons in the water have some sort of risk involved with them, and I can kind of just route those out for minimal time loss. But this first,
And you want to make sure you grab the... oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say this first moon's completely free. Look at that, nice and easy.
Yeah. You want to make sure you grab all of the checkpoints near each of the buttons. Out of the 4 buttons, 3 of them have checkpoints. So you're going to grab the one without a checkpoint, you hit that button first, and then warp to the other 3 so that you can hit them in succession.
So, like I said earlier, just a second ago, I'm gonna grab this moon, and typically in speedruns you would hit this button right here, but that does make bombs spawn and make the kingdom just riskier to traverse. So I'm just gonna pan the camera, do a quick down throw, and move on. We'll come back for this button in a little bit.
That's super interesting that you just skip the button altogether for now.
Yeah, and
I don't think I've ever seen that.
like I said, just gotta play it safe. I don't want to take damage to someone stupid. So
Yeah. And it's one of those minor tweaks because the bombs themselves aren't necessarily super dangerous, but they do add some level of risk.
And what I did right there was I did a little bit of a manip. If you put the Gushin a little bit further away from the Storyman there, he'll stay alive after you grab the Storyman instead of having the Storyman kill him off. So I can grab him right after and just kind of swim over here a little bit quicker. And then for this area, I'm going to have the Gushin fall a little bit. And if you spray whenever the Gushin's close to the lava there, he'll remove a lot more of the lava. Oh, I think I missed the lighthouse checkpoint. God dang it. I always forget it. No big deal. That's the best.
I think you grabbed it.
Oh, did I? Okay, cool.
I'm pretty sure you grabbed it.
Okay, yeah. That's probably the best one I could have missed, though, if I did, so. I always have to remind myself, because I don't...
Yeah, you grabbed it. I saw it.
Yeah, okay. I don't typically go to my way to grab it in any other category, so...
Yeah.
And
one really interesting thing about this kingdom is there's a checkpoint right in the center by the glass palace, and never, ever, ever warp to that checkpoint any time in Damageless, because there's a Gushin that can literally shoot you as you are spawning into the checkpoint. So it is unsafe to warp there. You just take damage for warping there sometimes.
And this moon right here is that moon up top, and then this one are two of the moons I route in just to avoid going in the water at all. We can just say hi to our friend Captain Toad here.
That fire right there is where Tippy decided to finally take damage after her 880 moon run.
No.
Once it was finished, once it was all done.
Oh my god.
No, but Tippy did it there because she actually lost her run to that fire at one point. I think she looked away.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think she looked away to read chat and just walked right into it.
That feels like a horrible place to for
and
your run to end though.
My bad. And I've actually done the same thing, but in Mushroom Kingdom. There's a timer challenge, and I was trying to start it from further away so I could get more time and do it a little bit safer. But Mario just rolled right into the fire that I didn't even see. And like I said, we're coming back for a second lap of these buttons now. So this is the only one. This is the only one you have to go up to manually. The rest you can warp to.
Tippy actually says that she wished she would have taken the final damage in Mushroom at Yoshi's house through the chimney because it was on Christmas. She was dressed as Santa Claus. And there's a fire right there.
I'm also hitting these buttons, not really in too much of a precise order. I mean, I do them in the same order every time, but I'm just making sure to end with this one up here because I think this Gushin is, at least for me, is the one I like to capture to start this fight up. I get a good bit of time to react to it because I'm going to be dropping down to it from above. And that's exactly what I wanted not to happen. Yeah, that Gushin's going up in the air, I think it's just RNG. So I just got rolled. But luckily I reacted to it well. Now a little minor observation I came up with is I like to sit on this ledge right here and let Mollis do his business. And then instead of trying to hit him and go really fast like the speedrun does, we actually just chase after him here and kind of push him over to the Hot Spring Island while staying at a distance so I don't take damage to any of these bombs here. And now I know also for this camera I'm doing it a little bit weird. I know some people prefer to do a claw clip so they can use the camera stick and the Gushin at the same time. I'm not really real comfortable with claw clipping, so I just smash the camera center button and that works for me.
I absolutely switched to the claw grip on this fight personally.
Yeah, I'm just not comfortable with it. For me, it would probably make me take damage just because I'm less comfortable with it.
Yeah. The only thing, if you don't do the claw grip and you do the camera center, just make sure you don't hit ZL or ZR. Otherwise, you'll uncapture and you'll be in a bad place if you do.
Oh, that's not fun. I was probably a couple pixels off there. How do I play this?
If you,
right here. Oh, we're fine. I had to dodge that.
If you do find that you uncaptured, you can actually sink under the water and do an up throw to recapture the Gushin.
Now, Dan's going to agree with me till the cows come home about this part of the fight. I'm a speedrunner, so I'm going to fly over top of Maul's head here. I'm going to spray water, and then I'm going to uncapture and ground pound, and that's going to kill him off. Yeah. And I personally find that's the most consistent method for me. Because if you don't do that, you kind of have to dodge some rockets he throws at you, and it just skips a part of the fight. That's kind of unnecessary, I think.
My position is you've been going up and shooting downward water the entire fight, so you know how to do it safely. And if you miss your ground pound, then you're right next to him and take damage. That's my position. That's why I think it's a little safer to not. But there are merits for both. It ends it sooner, but you know how to do all of the elements safe enough, so you might as well take the little extra time.
And just like that, we're done with Seaside now. Moving on to Luncheon, which is probably the scariest kingdom for World Peace Damageless. If I'm going to take damage anywhere during this run, it's definitely going to be in this kingdom.
Here's where things really get interesting.
Yeah, if anything, if there's one kingdom where one tiny mess up can bite me, it's definitely this one. So fingers crossed I can make it through this one a lot, because so far Mario's still completely hitless. I'm gonna play everything pretty safe here and just hope for the best.
Little optimization with the salt triple. You can actually do it without going over the Pepto to the right.
Yeah, just like that.
Another little optimization, if you wanted to, you could go to the right and stay on top of the roof and come back for this moon later and warp away if you didn't feel comfortable jumping out of this alcove or jumping over the poison. The poison soup. I guess it's not poison, it's just hot.
Nice and easy spear fight here. I've already done it once.
Yep. It's almost exactly the same as in Wooded. Dark Side is definitely very different. And that one probably took me the longest to come up with a safe strat, but I've got such a safe strat for it. I love it so much. It's probably the one I'm the most proud of the strats I've come up with for bosses.
Okay.
Is Dark Side Spewer. I highly recommend, as Cheese James did here, skipping the any % moon in the corner room there, because that corner is so easy to like get caught on and just fall straight down instead of going around it and fall right into the
it's also
the lava.
It's also just slow for this category.
And it's slow, that too. But I've just seen so many people just clip barely on that corner.
I'm gonna make a slight route adjustment here. I'm not gonna get behind the mountains, man. I'm just not comfortable with it. It kind of went wrong yesterday, so I'm just gonna grab this min right here instead.
Grab the checkpoint up top, and then jump down.
I don't want to risk anything.
And then warp back up. All right. Well, I guess I could explain it then. Like, at the end of this bit, there's a moon behind the mountain where typically a speedrunner would jump over the mountain, grab it, and then climb up to capture the meat.
Okay.
But if you go up to the top and grab the checkpoint first, then you can pretty safely jump down to the moon, grab the moon, and then warp back up to the checkpoint.
Also, if you do what I just did right there, it's a little bit tight on the cap bounce. You have to make sure you maximize your height there. You don't have to bother with the Goombas at all.
Definitely keep your eye out for this top spiny here.
Oh, that guy was not being kind to me today. Can't RNG, man. He did not want to die.
Are you gonna grab it?
What?
Are you gonna do it?
Oh, fart bean? There we go.
Fart bean. Oh, you missed it. If you time a long jump just as you hit that bean there, then it'll look like Mario's farting as he flies through the air. It's hilarious. I call it fart bean.
Yeah, that one's for...
I think it's hilarious.
That one was
That's
for...
the real speed strat everyone needs to start doing.
Yes.
That one was for Dan. I'm gonna go over here and then do this, and then do this, and then do that. Okay.
Hashtag make fart bean a thing.
And then I'm actually gonna capture this fork right here. If you capture the one below, you can actually, whenever you flick down to fling upwards, you can actually take damage to the spiny while inside the capture. So I just opt to skip that one entirely. And then I wait a beat there for to make sure I don't get a first frame jump and lose my cap bounce.
Yeah, because the way this game works is really weird. If you jump on the first frame that you land, then you won't actually reset your cap bounce, and you can just go right through Cappy.
So that first half isn't too bad if you grab the right moons. There's not really too much risk. Other than Spirit, I'd say. The multi-moon is relatively harmless. The second half is where it's going to get a lot scarier. I'm going to wait for Cappy. There we go. Also, I'm not rolling on that geometry there because you can fall right to your death. Not really worth it. The geometry in this game is super wacky and I don't want to mess around with anything. Oh, what?
This climb here looks scarier than it is. As long as you don't jump at all, then you can go right into those barrels and not take damage. If you jump and you land on the barrel, then you will uncapture and take damage.
Okay, good.
So avoiding jumping there is a nice, safe way to get through that
I'm also on a
section.
cycle there. I mean, I could go slower and like wait out the cycle, but if I go fast, I can make that faster cycle and just know where everything is. Now
This climb coming up here, there is a fast way to get up top that's used a lot in the KFR, where in KFR it's safe because in midair you can hit pause, hit retry, and not take damage. But in this, if you fail it, there's very little recovery. You have to do like a lava warp, or you're just dead.
Yeah, which is a frame perfect trick.
Yeah, so
I'm opting
we're
to
gonna
go,
opt to
go over here.
Yeah, much safer climb.
Cappy, come on. Kill the plant.
And skip a little section with fruit. Wait out this cycle until it's safe to jump up onto it. The blue side is the cool side, which is safe.
Okay, cool. I remembered how to do it. I don't.
And that brings us into Cookatiel.
Yeah, I don't often do this route, so I was kind of a little bit worried about it. Okay, I'm gonna have Dan explain Cookatiel here. I have to go really, really focus here to make sure I don't take a hit to something stupid. This fight can go very wrong. Let's hope I come out of it alive. Bellis RNGs.
So, the way this fight will start is Cookatiel will be going either left or right. So you're gonna jump ahead of Cookatiel. and stay about 1 to 2 lengths ahead of Cookatiel. That will manipulate the fruit from ever getting really out in front of you, because Cookatiel's trying to hit you, and as long as you're moving away from Cookatiel, all the fruit will be behind Cookatiel. You're going to want to take a beat for this climb, because if you climb this climb too fast, you'll hit an invisible wall that will cause damage. So just climb up slowly to avoid that invisible wall. And then repeat for stage 2. Always keep an eye on the shadows, because sometimes RNG can spit one out unexpectedly. Be ready to jump out forward or jump toward the center to avoid those shadows. And again, just take a little bit extra time on the climb, and you should be just fine to avoid that invisible damage. Just repeat for stage 3. I find that not going for the fast hits is the best, because if you go under to try to hit Cookatiel from underneath, you can't see the shadows.
That's another mean one. That's... I don't like this RNG.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a mean one.
Yeah, that one I may have jumped toward the center, but yeah, as long as you keep your eye on the shadow, top-down view like this, you should be able to avoid them.
Okay.
Third phase is probably the worst climb. You can still see the shadows on the climb in order to avoid them. They are faint, but they are there. And there's an invisible wall, so you want to make sure your timing gets past that invisible wall. Nicely done. Round of applause for some GGs for Cheese James.
I was holding my breath there. That was
Yeah,
nerve-wracking to watch.
If I got what can happen there on that final bop of Cookatiel's head? The hitbox is really janky. It extends above Cookatiel's head, which is so stupid. And what can happen is you can get invisible walled, where you can jump up and you'll just get rejected. If that happened right there on that final phase, there's a fruit primed to hit me right in the face. So I'm very lucky that didn't happen.
There's a ton of tech to keep in mind for that fight. Lots of different elements, all to keep track of all at once. Definitely one of the harder in the runs.
Definitely the hardest part of World Peace Damageless is that fight. If you're gonna lose your run anywhere, it's gonna be to this fight. There was that RNG was not in my favor much at all in that third phase.
Next up is one of the easier fights in the run, because I figured out a strat that avoids a lot of the danger. And Cheese James will be showcasing the walk left strategy. A timed walk to the left can avoid so much danger here in this dragon fight.
That infamously almost killed one of Philly's runs. Probably one of my favorite Twitch clips of all time.
Yes, yes. He's like, don't freak out. Oh. And I could explain this one as well.
Before this fight starts, of course we have to say hi to our good old pal Captain Toad there.
Oh yeah. So if you just kind of stand still until the lightning lands and then shift left or right, it'll easily avoid these first little bops. I like to stand in front of this bump in front of Toad so that I can be consistent with my jumps over the lasers on the ground. As long as you're fast with getting these spikes up, you'll be out before the burbos even spawn. Same thing, stand here, shift it a little left or right to avoid these first two lightning strikes. Stand back at the same spot for some nicely timed jumps over the lasers on the ground. Phase 3 is where it really changes. Once you get this bop, you're going to want to immediately go straight back to the dead center wall, like closest to the camera.
And I want to mention another reason I got this Toad Hen art is because I time my walk to the left here right whenever it crosses the Toad Hen art.
When the first laser circle passes Toad, start walking left and just hold directly left on the thumbstick. That'll pass all of the circular lasers. Couple of jumps here. You want to make sure you're kind of aiming in between, like there's a pattern to look for, and you want to aim between the two spikes at the tail end so that you can get over it safely. And with that, Dragon is done.
Yep, easy peasy. Definitely one of the easier ones. It looks a lot scarier than it is. Bowser is another problematic kingdom. The main thing I'm worried about right now is just the Topper boss fight. So, we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna play it as safe as I can. Just hope I don't take a hit.
Definitely the pressure point of Bowser's Kingdom.
And Mech, but I'm more worried about Topper personally.
Yeah. I mean, Mech is easy if you do like the super safe strat, but Cheese James will be attempting to stay on top the whole fight, which I personally do not recommend because, like, even if you're consistent with the strategy, value dives and chaos dives do happen, and if they do happen, then you fall off and it is in a bad place. But they can be avoided if you just
you can also
take a couple of different precautions.
I was gonna say, you could also just get flung off randomly. The mech's kind of mean.
Yeah. I think I never do a Cappy bounce in the mech fight at any point. I stay up most of the fight, but I strategically fall off midway through.
I'm gonna
Cheese James opted to go through the center of those Goombas, but if you go up onto the wall to the left or right, you can bypass those.
Also, if you just go to the left there, you can watch this guy's just gonna kill himself. There we go.
Yeah, just stay to the left when you jump up with the bird, and that'll trigger the Spiny to aim for the bird.
Yeah, and I also just opt to get that man because it's safer than the one behind crates. And it doesn't lose any time to it. Obviously it does because I played it a little bit slower there, but if you do it the fastest way, it doesn't lose any time to crates. It's equal speed.
And behind the Odyssey is probably your second moon.
Oh,
if you want to be really super safe, that is a good option. There are a few different safe options in this kingdom.
I was just going to get from the side of the castle gate.
Yeah, that works too.
Shards actually is... I'd say Shards is an area that looks way scarier than it is with the proper strategies.
Yeah. You'll be showing the down throw strat?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So for this first shard, I just roll up and then roll cancel into it. And then for this next one, helmet gap throw. Takes care of it nice and easily. Now there is a jump over a gap right here, but I think that's the safest way of getting on top of this building. It's not really much of a concern. It's a straight on jump, so valley dives are pretty rare. Here's the down throw Dan was talking about for this one. I'm just gonna line it up a little bit here and make sure I'm good.
Yeah. As long as you're close enough to the edge, then you'll get enough distance down. And just make sure you're not holding crouch when you initiate the throw. Otherwise, you'll roll off and die.
I also just want to mention that if you're on Joy-Cons, you don't have to do the ground pound before the down throw. You could just shake the controller downwards. But because Nintendo is mean, they don't give the Pro-Cons that option for whatever reason. Which is what I'm playing on Pro Controller.
Yeah, I think Joy-Con has two features that the Pro-Con doesn't have. Down throws and drift.
And drift.
I will say that Joy-Con, well, Pro-Con drift is a thing, but it takes a lot longer to manifest.
Joy-Con main's crying. Okay, I'm gonna make a lot of people upset here, probably. This is the most controversial point of the entire run. I'm gonna go Topper first here because I think it's harder.
Nice. And I can explain this one while you're doing it so you can focus.
Yeah, okay. Let's hope nothing goes wrong here.
Yeah, the way this one works is you're gonna go in and get the first 3 hits, easy enough. Then go to the back wall, any wall really, and you're gonna kind of stand in one place and throw out Cappy to get rid of as many hats as you can. If you find that there's one coming toward you, you can jump out of the way if you need to. Yep. And this is going to be like, so you don't rely on like 3-frame window for your timing to bop Topper.
I do speed up that phase a little
way.
bit, just so anyone's unaware. Oh, I didn't like that.
Yeah, same thing with this, but there's more hats. And yeah, if you want to be super safe, you can take out the hats in the next phase slowly, like 2 by 2. If you hit 2 hats, he'll fall. You can take out the hats and then hit 2 more hats off. Or you can go in for the quick bop, like Cheese James did here. And that is Topper.
Yeah, those hats weren't very kind that time. I had to really keep my eye on Topper. I popped him twice there. If you bop the hat that Topper's under, he'll it takes 2 hits to bop him up. And he
with
can
this one,
yeah, you can.
Cheese James
gonna. I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
Topper takes 2 hits to bop back up, so he can kind of run right into you if you're not paying close enough attention.
Yeah. With this one, Cheese James is getting close to Harriet, so Harriet jumps back a little bit, which will give space for them to go back to the back wall, out of the range of the bombs, to line up the bomb to hit into Harriet. Another way is the flinch method, what I was talking about before, but they'll show you that in Dark Side in a bit, after the run. This is a very good, solid, safe way to do this fight.
Yeah, I personally prefer the small bombs. That's just because, again, I'm a speedrunner, and I'm just used to doing that strategy right there for my speedruns.
Yeah. If you do miss Harriet's phase where she's in the air flying around, it's okay. Just take your time, walk in a slow circle around the arena to avoid the bombs and the fire, and then you'll be back on track.
Okay. This next part is just the climb up to the mech. I'm going to play it probably a little bit slow, just to ensure I don't take damage here. I took damage here once on a practice run on Saturday, so let's hope it doesn't happen again.
Yeah. There are a few ways to approach this next section with the bombs. One would be with the bird, but the bird poker can betray you. Another one is the jump over the gap, which is the option I typically use as well.
Which is right
Another
there.
one is to be on the very edge and inch your way across, just in between the bombs. But the jump over the gap is probably the one I feel most comfortable with. And I guess I would say, hesitantly, the safest way.
Yeah, jumping over gaps and damages is never fun, but if you're kind of between a rock and a hard place here, they either jump over a gap or you dodge a handful of bombs. So
Definitely
each ways have their
risk.
pros and cons. This one's a mech. I'm going to do mech fast. Let's just hope it goes well.
Yeah. As Cheese James is doing mech, I'll explain the differences between my strategy. I would use the bird to get up, because the bird allows you to stay up on top after the first hit a little easier,
Oh, I didn't mean
because
to
you
do
can
that.
uncapture and stay up to get that second hit much safer.
We're
Oh,
good.
goodness. And then I strategically fall off after the second hit so that I can dodge out of the way for the 2 phases of dashing forward. And the third phase, when mech goes into the center, I get under the legs so I can recapture the bird. If you're dead center under the legs, you won't get hit by anything. And then you can recapture a bird and repeat.
Little modification to the speed strat here. I'm going to wait for 5 steps. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the mech's gonna stop moving entirely, so I can line up that ground pound a little bit easier.
And if anyone's interested in like learning these strats, like the safer strats, more so, there's a resource sheet that we'll be talking about a little bit later as well.
There we go. Harriet wasn't kind there at the end, but it's okay.
Yeah, Cheese James and I have well documented everything in this game.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the cooler looking fast strats, I think. Being able to just kill all those guys with ground pounds really fast. And just like that, we're done with Bowser's. We only have 1 kingdom left, and then that's World Peace Damageless.
Oh yeah, I see a question in the chat. This is a question that very often gets asked. Are deaths considered damage? Absolutely yes. They are like the ultimate damage. Anything that affects the actual counter in a negative fashion, your health counter in a negative fashion, counts as damage. Like, the only exception would be, like, if you're going for all moons, when you beat the game, when you become Bowser, you get 6 health. Automatically, you get 6 health. And when you beat the game and land back in Mushroom Kingdom, it resets you back to 3. That does not count as damage. That's the only time that you can go negatively down in damage without it being actually damage caused.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah,
Like,
after
you can go
Bowser,
down
yeah.
in health
Yeah.
without it being damage, is what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, that's all 124 mins collected for the World Peace portion, but we still gotta kill Bowser. So, off the moon we go, I guess. We're actually gonna get dressed up for the occasion here. Look at this. Give it about 1 second, and Mario's gonna be in a tuxedo. Look at that. Dressed up for the occasion.
So dapper.
I think that's what Cappy says. I'm gonna be making...
Cappy says something like, if you be
I'm gonna be making quick work of this outside a little bit here. Oh, maybe not. Okay, I messed up the triple jump. No big deal. Just gonna be kind of like jump over all the moon snakes here. They aren't really too much of a threat. As long as I'm in the air here, they're not really much of a threat at all. Oh, my cycle's off for this one. I'm just gonna go a little bit slow.
Yeah, there's a lot of air stalling leeway to be able to avoid these snakes pretty easily.
And what I'm going to do here is, you can see the moon cave off to my left. We're just going to say, haha, lol, nope. Not going to do that. That's scary and not fun. So we're just going to come on top of the Sphinx, do a ground pound jump, into a cap Sharani bounce there, into 2 wall jumps, and just like that, moon cave is gone. No need to ever do it.
Smooth.
And off to Bowser we go.
Do you want to explain Bowser?
Yeah, I could explain Bowser.
Okay.
I'm going to do a little bit of a different strat here for the beginning. I think this is safe and it's fast. I'm just going to do a double spin throw there. Get up to Bowser nice and quick. Oh, Bowser's gone. There he is. Whenever Bowser jumps to the center there, the camera can be a little bit mean and like pan away from Mario, so just be cautious of that. As long as you're cognizant of it, it's not really much of a big deal. For this next phase, I was gonna say for this next phase, I'm just gonna make sure to go to the center here. He's gonna throw one hat, and I'm gonna walk to the side, and just same thing as Cloud. Hit the hat with Cappy, and then home it in once I'm close.
Yeah. I was gonna say, on the phase where Bowser is shooting fire, you want to go to either Bowser's left side or the right side, because when you're on the side, Bowser's flames will actually be more consistent. He won't stop and reset his flame, so you can more easily time where the flames are.
Also, I'm making this look way scarier than it is. It's just a floor scan. As long as you're not grounded whenever the fire comes, it's safe. I'm gonna go to a specific point here so I can neutral cap throw 3 times here. So Cappy hits the 3 hats that are coming towards my way. 3 jumps. And then 1 more. And just like that, he's dead. But oh no, we get to capture him now and flee the moon. Spoilers.
Nice.
Not done yet. There's still a little bit of scary stuff left here. Mainly just pillars. Which I'm going to be playing nice and slow.
Do you want me to cover pillars so you can focus in on it?
Yeah, go ahead.
When you get there? Okay.
This first little bit here, I'm kind of just watching out for these rocks, shooting fireballs, and just dodging. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a fancy triple jump right here to get up to this part safer and avoid all the rocks.
Oh, good.
No to skip today.
I was half expecting you to be risking it.
Nah, that's a good run. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm still hitless. No, something I do want to mention is there are rocks falling, but like I'm going fast. And the one rock you have to be cognizant of and make sure you're aware of is whenever I'm clawing at this final wall right here, there's going to be a rock that falls that I just want to make sure to dodge. You can see it with the shadow on the ground.
Yeah. So for pillars here, typically a speed run would see you shooting the fire to the pillar on the right and then heading to the left to get rid of all of them. But for the safe strategy, if you go around to the right, up the natural steps, that's the intended way, and it typically gets harder and harder as you go, so it's like the way that they designed to show you how it works. And I find that that is the easiest way to do it. And if you run through it a few times like that and just claw instead of shooting fireballs, you can shoot a couple here and there, but as long as you finish with a claw, it'll immediately despawn what is falling, and you can get out of the way in time. And you'll get a feel of the cycles as well when you do it this way, so that you can safely follow the same cycle every single time. And with that, that's pillars.
And that's World Peace Damageless, just like that. That is how to complete every boss in the main story, completely damageless. Nice. I'm happy I nailed that.
GG.
Nice job.
What was my final time? I'm just curious.
131.04.
Oh, really? I almost got a sub 130 with all those snow jam fails. That's pretty solid. That was gonna be higher than that. I will take that.
Yeah, that was a great run. And you beat the challenge of doing it damageless.
Yeah, so I want to do, I think now is a decent time to do some shoutouts, right, Newts?
Yeah, I just want to let chat know real quick. We do have more Damageless after this. Cheese James is going to go through and do some post-game content, so make sure to stick around. But I do want to give them an opportunity to give some shout-outs now that we're at the end of the run. So go ahead, Cheese James.
Okay, I just want to shout out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/cheesejames_. I've been mainly focusing on all the main board categories right now, like all moons and 100%. I've done a lot of damageless in the past, and I probably will return to get 100% damageless. But yeah, that's all I do over there. Lots of Odyssey content, Odyssey speedrun content over on my Twitch channel.
Yeah, and I have been posting your link throughout the run, just post it again. So make sure if you loved this run and you want to see more, please make sure to go drop a follow for Cheese James. I also want to give T-Man Dan an opportunity for any shout-outs you'd like to give as well.
Nice. So yeah, my Twitch channel is twitch.tv/tmandan. I do a wide variety of things, not anything specifically in particular at any given time. But I do also want to quickly shout out the Damageless resources sheet that Cheese James and I took a lot of time developing. You can find that in the Super Mario Odyssey speedrun Discord. Go to the Damageless channel. It'll be pinned there. It's got links to any strategy you'll ever need. I've time-stamped every single moon grab for my first 880 Damageless run, so you can see how I did it there, as well as deep dive all sorts of strats. We also have a Damageless darker side route and a link to not only the speedrun.com sheet, but a special sheet that MiniBeast created that actually lists the top 5 completions by time as well, because speedrun.com doesn't actually have that mechanism in place to be able to do that.
Awesome. Yeah, that's yeah. If anyone is interested in getting into this themselves, again, there's only 5 people who have ever done all moons damageless, so it's definitely a great challenge, and there's some great resources out there. So make sure you check that out if you're interested. As I said, though, we are going to take one last break, chat. So make sure to stick around. Go get go get a snack. Maybe use the restroom. Refill your drink. And when we come back, Cheese James is going to show us some of the post-game content, which has definitely some more difficult areas. And we'll be doing that while damageless. So make sure to stick around. We'll be right back. Hey, all you cool cats and gamers. Welcome back to No Category Left Behind, the GDQ hotfix show that showcases category extension speedruns. I'm your host, Nuclear Reaction, and tonight I've got with me Cheese James showcasing Super Mario Odyssey while damageless. We just finished World Peace, but now we're on to the more difficult post-game content. So make sure you stick in. It's gonna be really, really sweaty here. But before we get started, I do have a couple announcements. If you're watching on YouTube, please go to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick if you're interested in looking at our live content, starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. Also, your subs, gift subs, Prime Gaming subs, and bits help support weekly hotfix content. Please consider supporting our daily content if you enjoy these hotfix shows. All right, James, I want to just ask you, what can we expect from this post game? I know you were telling me that this is definitely going to be a lot more difficult than what we saw during the run itself.
So typically, whenever you're going for an 880 moons attempt, what you want to do is you also, before getting to this point, I only showcased World Peace. What you want to do in an optimal 880 attempt is you want to go through and also do all the hard sub-areas that spawn as soon as they spawn during main game. So you would go out of your way to do those, and that adds quite a bit of time. Typically, you would probably not get to see this kingdom, which is the first post-game kingdom, until about roughly 3 hours into the run. So getting all this stuff first try under pressure is definitely not easy. I don't even know if I'm going to get it first try here. I'm just going to hope I don't take a hit. We'll see. All this stuff is definitely the hardest part of the run, and many resets happen here. This is where I want to say a good 80 to 90% of 880 runs die. It's right here.
Yeah, I would say that post-game is where the damageless 880 run really, really starts.
Well, we just saw you do the World Peace Damageless. I have faith you have been rocking it tonight. So if you're ready, I can go ahead and give you a countdown and we can get into the post-game.
Oh, yeah, before we start, do we want to do hardest to easiest or easiest to hardest here? What do we want to do? Because I'm flexible. I can do whatever order you guys want here.
I think easiest to hardest would probably...
Okay.
That's the way I build up to it. I think that's the way to do it.
Okay, we'll go easiest to hardest then. Okay.
All right. Okay, let's get going then in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, easiest to hardest. So we're going to come over here, and I think... this guy right here, or I guess this is the second easiest. I could go over here. I forgot about one. Yeah. This guy over here on this side, Mollusk rematch. This guy's so easy that I forget he even exists. Literally. This guy, I always say that this is the hardest part of the run, but quite literally in my 880 damageless run, I waited to do this boss fight until after 800 moons deep. That's how easy this boss fight is. No joke. I don't know if I've ever lost a run to this guy. And I'm just going to showcase why this guy is literally a joke. He can cheese the entire fight. So I want to dodge that first spray. And that's quite literally probably the only thing I need to dodge in this entire fight. That one bomb and then that one spray. Because what we're going to do here is we're going to land on this handle. And GG, I can't get hit now. As long as I don't uncapture this guy at any point, I am safe. And I just spray and kill this guy now. Getting the sprays off is a little bit finicky with how high up in the air I am, but as long as I don't lose height or uncapture at any point, I'm 100% safe. I will not be taking a hit. This fight is quite literally a joke.
One way that this fight differs from the main fight in the main game is that you have rain in this fight, which constantly refills the Gushin's water, so you can always just stay completely high up.
I always like to joke that this fight is literally easier than Cap Kingdom. I always joke about that because I truly think it is.
Unless you go for the ground pound.
But yeah, if you just do exactly what I'm doing right here, You can see, like, Mullet doesn't stand a chance. He doesn't know what height is, I don't think. He doesn't understand that I can go above him. So, that's kind of they give us one freebie, which is nice, which is this guy. Kind of comical, that strat, I think, is. Okay, and now we're gonna go on to Mecha Wiggler, which is the first one I thought of because I always forget this guy exists. I should also mention I'm also gonna showcase all the bosses, but I also will be doing the 2D well as well, because that's another thing that's up there in difficulty with the bosses. It's pretty much the same difficulty as some of these hardest bosses, even though it's not a boss fight. It's arguably the hardest 2D section in the game for Damageless. Okay, this guy I think is the second easiest. This guy is the first boss fight where I actually have a chance of taking damage. Let's hope it doesn't happen. Gonna quickly go off this tank right here. And then we're just gonna be doing some dodges here.
One thing I forgot to mention in the previous fight is when you are shooting the fireballs that appear, you want to shoot them in the order that they appear, because the order that they appear is going to be the order that they shoot at you in.
Yeah, they come at you faster depending on which one. After they sit and spawn for a second, they gain speed. There we go. That's one phase down. Oh, if I could aim.
Yeah, another weird quirk about the tank is if you shoot too quickly, you'll get overheated and kind of shake and not be able to shoot for a second. To avoid that, just make sure you never have more than 2 bullets in the air at any given time. And then you should be able to continuously shoot without overheating.
Yeah, it's that third bullet that causes the overheat. And just like that, 2-second Wiggler Damageless.
Nice job.
Kind of funny I 2-cycled this one, but not the one in Night Metro. And I think next we're gonna do the dragon fight, but to do that I actually have to drain them out with the pegs, and then I have to grab Yoshi. It's a little bit of a process to get to this dragon fight, unfortunately. But we can go do that. It'll only take a second.
Draining the old moat. Nice.
Oh, good bonk. Oh, I forgot to drain them out. Dang it, I forgot to do that first. No biggie. No biggie. I guess while I'm doing this, I could showcase this real fast too, because it'll only take a second. I'll showcase where the sand art is. Might as well. Right there. Get some coins, why not?
Yeah, those coins are super useful in Damageless 880.
Yeah, you need a bunch of coins to beat the game. So you definitely want to be grabbing all the Luigi cone hit arts. At least all the safe ones.
Yeah. If you do grab a coin art, there are 200. Make sure they all spawn before you warp or go through a doorway. Otherwise, you won't get the rest. And
So
there are 20 of them in the game, so that's a good 4,000 coins.
We're gonna see like 2 seconds of Yoshi here, but Once we get to Dark Sabers, we're going to be seeing a ton of Yoshi, so don't worry about that. Darkside is like literally 50% Yoshi once we get to the subs.
Do you want to explain this one or me?
You can take it. I explained the last two.
Okay. It's very similar to the first fight in this first bit, except that it's a little slippery. I like to use this same lump as an indicator because I know exactly what point the lasers come through, when I should jump, when I should not jump. First bit is good. Jump, don't jump, jump. Basically, phase 2 is the same thing. You dodge slightly to the left for the first two circular shots, and then you want to be in a very specific spot behind this bump when the next set of lasers come, and you could just stand completely still and not get hit at all if you're in just the right spot.
I personally prefer to go a little bit behind that, just so I could get more reaction time to everything.
The further back you are, the more they space out as they go, so the more you can easily dodge them.
This walk to the left shot also works in this refight here, but we don't have Toad as the visual cue. He's gone. He doesn't spawn here. Shouldn't be an issue though.
With that, the dragon is down.
Yep, there we go. That's definitely the first one I was a little bit worried of. We're slowly amping it up here. Slowly getting harder. This one's not too bad, but it has killed runs for me in the past.
Is Torque Drift next?
Yeah, we'll
That's
do
my guess.
Yeah, Torque Drift, and then we're going to do... I guess we can do all the bosses, and then we can end with 2D Well.
Okay, and then the
Dark
Luncheon Hammer Bros after 2D Well?
I don't have the painting.
What?
I'm not on Almond's file.
It spawns in, like, what?
You have to grab it in Luncheon.
Oh, you can't... Oh, yeah, you can't warp over there. That's right. Okay. And then after Darkside, that's a good spot.
Yeah, if we have extra
Good
time.
call.
So what we're going to do... I probably shouldn't have warped there. That put me further away. Oh, well. We're going to head over to Goomba Woods here a little bit. I'm going to go this way. And we're going to do a little bit of a fancy trick jump here just to get up to this tower. It's not too shabby. It's just a little bit of a cappy bolt. That I just messed up a little bit. My bad. There we go. Okay, this is Torque Drift now. Also, if you bonk and fall there, it's not a big deal. There's no Goombas directly below you, and you have plenty of time to react to them if there were. But there's no Goombas anywhere near that area where I'm vaulting. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. I think that's the safest way of being up to this guy.
The main difference with this fight is there's no safe block above and a lot more lasers.
Yeah. Now I'm going to wait this out here for that laser to despawn before I go anywhere near the middle. I'm going to be doing some precise jumps here to dodge all these lasers.
And again, for this next phase, you wait for the shake to happen, and then bop it so that they stop spinning.
And then you see I kind of hug the laser there a little bit. Same with this one, just so he focuses on that laser. And then you can see the laser doesn't come near me. That's a little minor optimization I do.
Yeah, if you go quicker, then the other laser closest to you will shoot. And then you'll be in a bad position for dodging the laser while you try to get the hit for the next block. So you want to kind of lean back a little bit until that happens.
Okay. Cool. And that's torque drift down. What is
Nice
that?
job.
4 now?
That's 4.
Four of
4
six.
down, 2 to go.
Yep, 4 of 6. Now these two are the mean ones. These two are the run killers that I'm not looking forward to. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna slowly branch out to more games. I want to learn the Galaxy games 1 and 2. Those are my next 2 ventures. Okay, next one up is Knuckle Tech rematch, and you'll see very quickly why this one's very scary and can go wrong very easily.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You'll probably going for the little bit faster, safe
Yeah,
method.
what I did in my 880 grind.
Yeah, I do a more slow, methodical approach where I take out both fists before going in for a safer capture. But Cheese James is going to be capturing the first one as it hits to avoid having to dodge extra elements. And the main difference with this fight is that the mummies will spawn. The way that the mummies spawn is only when you're actively being attacked by Knuckle-Tech in one way or another will the mummies actually spawn. Fists come toward you, the mummies spawn.
And to
Now they're
avoid the
not spawning.
mummies, I want to be up on this top ledge and spamming Cappy. The reason I need to spam Cappy here is because the mummies can actually climb on top of each other and clip into the ledge I'm on.
Yep.
Oh, that's not going to work.
And as
There
soon
we
as
go.
the fist gets down here, you want to be jumping up in the air so you can Cappy bounce over any mummies that spawn
There we
if
go.
the fist missed the ice. That's a safe way of avoiding the mummies. Because they'll only spawn when the fist is actively trying to punch you. We're gonna go now at an angle this way. You can actually run into the fist without it causing damage, as long as it's not actively clapping toward you. But we jump at an angle right there to avoid the mummies being in our way.
Do you see that? One of the mummies clipped into the platform I was on. I saw it. Now, right here, if you're not a little bit slow, you can actually spawn inside a mummy after this cutscene. I've never had it happen personally, but another Damageless runner Tippy had it happen in a regular Roman speedrun.
Yeah. Once you capture the final fist, just give an extra beat before you go in for that hit to give a chance for the mummies to despawn, and you should be safe after that. That'll avoid that.
Okay, 5 of 6. Here we go. Can I nail Cookatail?
Here we go.
This is the hardest one. There is a ton of RNG. So much can go wrong here. Let's see if I can do it.
Yeah. The main difference, I'll explain the differences as you get there so you can kind of focus in once you get there. The main difference with this rematch is the spike snakes. There are 3 spike snakes that are spinning that you have to avoid while everything else is coming after you. And every single piece of fruit that Cookatail shoots in this phase is the durian that sticks around
Here we go.
in the soup,
Plus
rather
is in
than
chat.
falling in and disappearing.
This is the hardest part of any Damageless run, I'd argue.
Yeah. Other
Right
than
here.
that, the strategy is basically the same.
Oh, that was almost bad right out the gate.
Yeah.
That was almost... I didn't even get time to really react to that first fruit.
You need to kind of let Cookatail like catch up to you in this because the spikes are in the way. You can't just immediately go for a beeline to get right in front of Cookatail, which is another one of the tricky elements.
Oh, that was ballsy. I should have done that.
Close.
Yeah, that was ballsy. I should have waited until I go out there.
There is a manipulation that you can force Cookatail to go one way or another, but it's kind of awkward to learn and.
Yeah, I've never bothered learning it.
Okay.
Okay,
Keep
good.
an eye on those shadows, and sometimes the best thing you can do is kind of stop, dodge, go toward the middle, do whatever you can to avoid those shadows.
Where am I? Oh my! Why did I spawn so close
Okay.
to that mid snake? Oh, this is
You're
bad.
good, you're
Why are you
good.
going this way?
Oh my gosh.
I'm good. This third phase didn't go ideally. I spawned really close to the min snake, was just thrown off.
Togeteal is making you work for this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is why this fight is the hardest of all of them.
Do you see that? That is what is killer. Those durians on the camera pan, I hate them. That is the worst RNG I can get. Nailed it. I had to work for that one.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. That was intense.
Yeah, I really had to work for that one. That is some of the worst RNG I've had in this fight to date.
You still nailed it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, lots of hours of practice.
Yes.
Go into something
it's
like...
very obvious that, you...
The run killer has been defeated. Oh man.
It's always exciting whenever I do get Damageless runs post game, and then I go on a little bit of a win streak with this guy. That's definitely some of the most rewarding stuff in Damageless all moons. Okay, we can just end off with 2D well now. I think it'd be quicker for me to go from here.
Yeah.
That's all the
2D
bosses.
well, the last... Yeah. 2D well is the last big hard part of Mushroom Kingdom. Other than that, Mushroom Kingdom isn't too bad with the proper... just staying focused and paying attention. You have to be very methodical with all of your timings in the 2D well if you want to pull it off. Another thing to mention with 2D well, if you get the notes around the well outside and then you grab the moon, if you're too quick jumping into the well, you can actually die because the loading zone doesn't spawn in until the moon is fully disappeared, until the lettering of the animation and stuff is fully disappeared.
For whatever reason, whenever there's text on screen from the moon grabs, it despawns all loading zones. Okay, what's the first scary part? No!
Oh no!
I lost my speed. Dang it. My speed just got eaten, man. Okay, we'll go through it again.
Yeah.
That's damage.
I personally prefer going underneath those question mark blocks, but yeah, it's a tough room either way.
Oh well, it happens. I'm happy I got all the bosses.
Yeah.
It's definitely impressive. I got all of those.
Very, very solid showcase so far.
Oh, I'm just gonna warp out. I'm just gonna warp out and reset this. This is what I'm gonna do because I don't know how to back this up from here. This is going
not
poorly.
a bad call. Did you practice this one?
Yeah, I
recently?
did. I gotta run through this Damageless. It just isn't going my way today. Nothing cooperating. Okay, let's hope I can get it here. Third time's a charm.
Yeah, warping is basically your only recourse in this room. If something goes wrong and you don't land, it's over. But if you land, be ready to warp.
There we go. And then I hug these cannons here to make sure that they don't shoot bills until it's safe for me to walk. And I'm gonna wait for that guy to shoot. Jump over this guy. I'm gonna do something that looks a little bit sketchy here and do a backwards jump just to get me in position. Okay, I'm gonna wait a beat for the screen to catch up with me.
Yeah, if you're too fast here, you can actually jump out of the top of the screen.
Okay. And then I've come up with my own safe strategy here. Dan has a different shot, but I do this final screen a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Once I have to wait a minute here. Once these the bullet lines up with the fuzzy, it should be right here. Oh, I'm safe to jump. I missed my jump on the bullet though, but I know if that lines up like that, the fuzzy won't be in my way. Okay.
The difference that I do is I
That's
walk
mushroom.
forward and I time some big jumps at specific points to bounce off a bullet bill.
Yeah. Okay, that's mushroom. I'm gonna load up a safe ally I've prepared right here for dark side. I'm gonna hop into dark side real quick because you need 250 moons to reach dark side, and I'm not about to grab 250 right now. I'm just gonna bank. I'm just gonna go to dark side. So dark side's right here. More bosses. Oh, fun. 5. What is it? 6 more? Again. Is it 5 bunnies in a mech, or is it 4 bunnies in a mech? I forget the count.
4 bunnies in a mech.
Okay, so that's 5 more.
And then 6 rooms.
So the gimmick of this post game stage is that you're fighting all the burritos or bunnies that we saw earlier. So Top Air, Harriet, Spirit, and Rango. We're fighting them all again, except we're on the moon with low gravity. Gonna do my best to get through everything here without damage. This is definitely, I'd argue this might be harder than Mushroom. Cookie Tail rematch is the hardest part of the run, but this is definitely the hardest kingdom. So we'll see how it goes. Top right I do pretty much the same as Bowser's. Just gonna watch out for hats and dodge them. I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. There we go. I figured out which hat was his.
And the reason we stay in the corner along an edge is when a hat goes through, it bounces off and goes away. So you never have like 2 avenues of hats. You only have like a half a sphere to be concerned about instead of a whole surrounding you. 360. Are you going to show off the flinch?
I guess I could. I can try it. We'll go for it.
You can do it like the first phase. Like the flinch I was talking about for Harriet. You walk up within Cappy range, and you hit Harriet 4 times so that she flinches visually and with a metal sound effect 4 times. If you do that, she'll go straight to the hair bombs instead of the small bombs.
2, 3, 4.
And those hair bombs, I feel like, are a little bit easier to be safe with because they kind of stay in position longer. You can get up there, do what you need.
Now, what I like to do is I like to go to this doorway right here. I check for the doorway, then Harriet's going to go to the back, and then right next to me here. And then I can line it up nice and easily. I'm going to do small bombs for the rest just because that's what I'm more comfortable with here.
Yep.
Oh, missed that one. There we go. Harriet's in the fire here. That's not fun. I'm going to... Yeah, wait
Yeah,
that
you can
out.
kind of hold her in place by just bopping her a couple of times, if that happens.
Same thing again. Back to the edge of the room, and then to my left there. There we go. Carry it down.
All right, so I can explain Spewer.
Yeah, this is definitely a strat you came up with after a lot of trial and error. So I'll let you take
Yeah.
it.
Spewer was a massive pain to figure out in low gravity because all the jump timings were just not working. But then I figured out that you can go just press down on the stick and go to the bottom of the arena, dead center, and wait until Spewer starts walking. Just literally do nothing. Make sure you're dead center. After the second step and before the 5th step, do a backflip and then go neutral. A neutral backflip, he'll get 2 bounces every time. And then just hop away, dodge this section, rinse and repeat. As soon as Spewer lands and the camera settles after being centered, press down on the thumbstick and wait until between step 2 and step 5. As long as it's between step 2 and step 5, neutral backflip, let go of everything, 2 bops, perfect every time, and then move away.
Yeah, this boss is
same for all 3 phases.
This boss is kind of the Mollusk rematch of this kingdom.
Yes, it went from the hardest to the easiest.
Very minimal inputs required. Easy peasy.
Rango is a little awkward with the camera manipulation. The reason why Rango is so awkward is because the camera is trying to follow Mario and Rango. And Mario's movement is entirely dependent on which way the camera is facing. So when Rango jumps a certain way and the camera pivots to follow Rango, your forward movement suddenly turns into sideways movement directly toward Rango. So I had to figure out a manipulation for that section.
Oh, whoops. There's no cutscene here.
Yeah. I'll let you explain this first hit.
All I do here
and
is a neutral cap throw, and then a jump, and you won't get hit there.
Yeah. So the way to manipulate this camera is as soon as you land after this, just go left or right, hold exactly left or right on the thumbstick, and start spamming quickly camera center. That'll put Mario in a circle, and Rango will always be jumping toward where Mario was, and Mario will always be dodging out of the way. Constantly spamming that camera.
There's a weird little gimmick here that is very fun. That on that phase where I'm hitting the hats, the hat hitbox can spawn before Rango throws it, so I can get hit by an invisible hitbox there if I'm not careful.
Yes.
You just get screwed by the game because that's how Damageless be.
And if that invisible hitbox does not come out and get you, you throw Cappy and hold Cappy in place as you jump away, so you're always in the air, moving away from the hats. In case the hats either go straight or sideways, you'll always be out of the way. And that's Rango.
And one more. And then we're done with the boss rush. But that's the easy part of Dark. This game is relentless.
I'll let you take mech.
Okay. Before Mac, we'll be nice. We'll say hi to Captain Toad before Mac. For anyone that doesn't know, if you kind of roll up this path up here a little bit further, it's a lot of rolling. Past this wall here, look who it is. Hey, it's Captain Toad. We'll say hi to him. How you doing, Captain Toad? We'll take his man. I was also thinking about this the other day. This would be the single worst place in the run to bank a moon. If you banked a moon after Toad right there, you'd have to do all the rematches again. So that would be fun. Okay, well, I'm gonna do a dive so I'm out of the way of the bombs. So I'm gonna do a ground pound or a spin pound into a wall jump there, into a ground pound so I can kill off Rango there. And then some simple cap bounces to stay up on top of the mech. Then we're gonna wait for 3 steps here. And then the next step's moving, and then a nice jump, cap through, and ground pound will land me up on top of the topper nicely. And it's pretty much just like the Bowser's mech, but easier. Oh,
yeah, gravity definitely makes this fight easier than in Bowser's.
Also, I didn't mention this in Bowser's, but the reason I crouch on top of the mech is because it just makes Mario move less, so there's less of a chance of me getting thrown off randomly, because that's something that can happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, a little bit too slow there, but no biggie, we just do it again.
Yeah, and that right there is why gravity makes this super safe, because there's a lot of leeway to get back up on top if you miss it.
There we go. Oh, nice camera. There we go. There's all the bosses. Damageless. Okay, now this is where the run really amps up for Darkside. These sub-areas are not fun. And we'll go, I would go easiest to hardest, but the easiest one is really far away, so we'll save the harder ones for last, though, again. I am going to start with the one right behind the Odyssey, though. It's kind of inconvenient for me to go easiest to hardest here, unfortunately. It's more convenient in Mushroom.
That makes sense. I know the one behind the Odyssey is one that I struggled with a lot in my casual playthrough.
This one's kind of a hit or miss for me. We'll see if I get it. I'm really bad with the timing on this one. My internal clock is pretty poor.
There are a few different approaches to this room. You can either go back up on top or you can stay below. If you decide to stay below, you can either do dives or long jumps.
I actually do a bit of both. You'll see I start off this here with a long jump, and then I do jump dives.
I find that the timing for this is basically exactly 1 second.
There we go.
Like, if you time everything to the second, then you should be good.
This one definitely isn't fun. This is one that whenever I first started doing my all-min speedruns way a long time ago, this is definitely the one that gave me the most trouble. Okay, we will do, we're gonna do, let's save Yoshi Rising Lava for last, because that's the hardest one. I'm also not gonna bother looking at any of the hint arts here. There's a bunch of pictures you're gonna see on some of these fruits, like right there. If you look at it, it'll spawn a moon in like Cascade Kingdom, for example, and you can just jump down to get the moon. But there's no point in me bothering to look at it. So recent development, we actually came up with this room semi-recently is, I'm gonna grab this first fruit with Yoshi. But what we used to do is just do this full room with Yoshi, but there was actually an instance where I was doing an offline Damageless attempt, and I encountered an undodgeable fireball. So we had to kind of rework this room, where now we actually go out of our way to kill these plants with Mario first instead of Yoshi, because that's a little bit safer, and you don't have to worry about as much there. This fireball's not cooperating. There we go.
Yeah. If you do have some issues with lining up the fireball, you can use first-person mode to align it a little better, but you got to be quick about it.
Yeah, and I'm just more comfortable with doing it without first person. Oh. And the reason I encountered an undodgeable fireball is because right there was a good example. You can't duck as Yoshi, so I kind of just got screwed. The platforms were down like they are right now, and the fireball was coming right for my face. And I was stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah. But the only save would have been, like, awkwardly jumping to the side out over the poison and kind of, like, shimmying your way back on with a flutter jump. And, poison warping if you missed it. Really awkward situation.
Yeah, and that's why using Mario is significantly safer, because you have the duck option, which you get taken away if you're Yoshi. I'm gonna wait for this platform now. Then we're gonna wait it out again. Hey Allison, at least I'm not the clown. I could have went there. No biggie.
Practicing these rooms with Yoshi can also be quite awkward because Yoshi, depending on whether the fruit is grabbed or ungrabbed, Yoshi will either home in or not home in the same way. So if you're practicing these rooms after you've already completed them, Yoshi won't be homing in like he would in an actual run.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to save before, practice the room, switch to another backup save, and kind of rinse repeat in order to properly practice these rooms.
That's actually why I have this specific file saved up, loaded up. Because I need these fresh fruit for it to be like a realistic setting.
Yep. It's especially aggravating in the sinking spire room.
Okay, we're gonna do the Yoshi tank room first because it's easier, and then we're gonna get to one of the hardest rooms in Dark Side. This one, there's not really much safe strats for this room other than just safely routing the fruit and kind of watching out for the bullets, I find.
Yeah, figure out what route you like best and be able to consistently do that route every time is the biggest thing for this one.
Also, keep in mind that if the tanks are off camera, they won't shoot at you. That's another thing. That's why those tanks up top didn't notice me. I'm wait for this tank to shoot. Then I'm gonna take my opportunity to go. This guy should die, right? Maybe, yeah, okay, good. This part's gonna look really scary.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes. I'm so glad you did that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you usually do that in runs, but I'm glad you showed it off here.
I got in my way to kill this tank because there's a couple fruit I need to grab, and that guy can kind of be a pain if he's left alive. But yeah, that walk through the tank is really scary looking, but it is consistent. Okay, time for one of the scariest rooms. This room is not very fun. And you're about to see why. I don't have cafe and I have to traverse poison platforms that are also invisible. That's kind of the gimmick of this room.
When you dive, you want to go neutral on the stick because otherwise momentum can bring you off the edge. Yeah, warping is definitely the call there.
Yeah, sometimes the rocks don't cooperate. You could go for a dive onto that plant without the rock, but it's just a tighter hitbox. Hitbox is smaller. That's why we throw the rocks into the plant's mouth.
Yep, with the rock in the plant's mouth, you can walk into them. So you dive toward, you either land neutrally on the head and bounce and don't bounce off because you're neutral, or you land before and you can just inch into. Either way, both kills them without causing Mario damage. That's why the rocks are so important with these smaller ones. And you can actually align better with first person with the rock holding if you want to do it that way as well.
Okay, now we wait for about maybe 15 seconds here. I gotta wait for that platform straight ahead of me right there to move around into a specific spot. And then I'm gonna do a jump that looks a little bit scary, but let's hope it goes well.
Yeah, the alternative to that is going around and dealing with another plant. So a triple jump dive over poison or dealing with another plant, it's kind of a toss-up as to which one you feel is the safer option.
No! I had momentum.
Oh, no.
I had momentum. Yeah. This is why.
Yeah, if you go neutral before you land, you'll kill your momentum, but you don't want to go neutral too soon because you might miss the platform.
Yeah, it looked like I was going to be a little bit short there, so I was kind of in a pickle.
Yeah, that's why I typically opt for the plant and going around, because it doesn't require timing a precise jump over invisible platforms. But yeah, it's definitely preference. There's a manipulation here where you can get the camera actually into the doorway, so you're far enough away so this plant won't shoot at you, blocking your path that you'll be walking on until you're ready to go.
And then I'm gonna go out now that my ride's here.
Yeah, Dark Side and the rematch is just so brutal.
Yeah, this guy can't hit me from here, for anyone wondering. I'm safe here. Now this part I do a little bit fast, and it is scary looking. Let's hope this part goes well. That little bit's pretty tight. And then I do a dive and do a triple jump dive and did this guy. And then same thing for this guy over here. And And the camera doesn't really cooperate with me there, unfortunately, so I kind of just need to know where I'm at to start off the triple jump.
Yeah. This room and the Yoshi Spire, I would say, are easily the two hardest in Dark Side.
Yeah. And
Definitely
now,
no shame.
We're gonna go to a room that's kind of really easy. We're gonna take a little bit of a breather here from all the action and do a little bit of an easier room. This room, all you really have to do is some rolling in some jumps. This is just a harder version of the Metro scooter room. If you're a really OG Odyssey fan, you'll remember a YouTuber named Helix Snake that actually tried to complete the Metro room without the scooter.
If you try to go too quick in this room, you can actually roll and boost entirely over the P-switch, missing it completely and rolling off the edge.
That's why I'm stopping here.
A way to avoid that is just either ground pounding on the P-switch or just before it, because a ground pound into a roll will guarantee that you hit that P-switch every time. And I actually do it quite differently. Cheese James absolutely hates the way I do this room.
So does a lot of people.
But I like the casual nature of being able to take my time and methodically handle the bits of danger instead of having to be quick, and one mistake and it's just all over.
This is another room right here me and Dan do really different. This is probably the biggest difference between me and Dan's runs. I'm going to be handling this room in one go. You can warp out and do multiple passes of this room, which Dan thinks is a safer option. I personally prefer just handling it in one go. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I methodically grab the later fruit first because I can quickly make my way up past to the second half and have plenty of time to deal with them, and then I warp out and take care of the rest of the fruit in a couple of different passes and warp out as necessary. Yoshi is really awkward. Sometimes he can just get stuck on the side of a wall because his tongue doesn't quite reach the top to make the flip over. If that happens, your only recourse is to really uncapture and wall jump up to the next platform.
Oh, come on.
And you have a lot of leeway to do that. If you're even pretty low on the wall, you can do that because you'll have to uncapture.
Fun. I want to mention what happened there real quick.
And then
what happened there was sometimes you can press Y and Yoshi will pull out his tongue, but it won't go anywhere. It'll literally get stuck on his face, and you have to do it again. So that's fun. I nailed this room though, so that's cool. One hit for Dark. Nice. I'll take it.
Nice. Yeah, that is solid. That's definitely nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, I will take that. I only took damage in the poison room, which is probably the hardest room for me. I'm more consistent at that lava room.
All right, 2D Hammer Bros?
Well, how much more time do we have, Nukes?
We can do 15 minutes or more, so.
Okay.
We're ready to keep going. We're at 45 minutes though right now, so.
Okay. I think this might be a good file then. Actually, no, I think I could do it on this file, actually.
Yeah.
I could do it on this file. What am I saying? I'm gonna go to luncheon and make my way to the 2D Hammer Bros then. That's just probably, I'd argue that's the second hardest 2D section.
Aside from the 2D well?
Yeah, 2D well I'd say is harder.
Yeah. Yeah, so this Hammer Bros spot that we're talking about is on the island with the vegetables, the rolling vegetables. And there's a set of two Hammer Bros. One of them is on the left, jumping from the top to the middle platform, back and forth, top to middle, top to middle. And the second one is on the right, jumping from middle to bottom, middle to bottom, middle to bottom. So we're going to be looking for a very specific pattern in order to make our way through the hammers that they're shooting safely. And basically, the pattern we're looking for is you want the left-hand one to jump from middle to top, and then shortly after, the right-hand one to jump from bottom to middle. That's, like, the only pattern in which the consistency will be 100%. in this room. Otherwise, you can just kind of have to wait until you think there's a gap and hope for the best and run through really awkwardly. But there's a manipulation that we can use in order to make it work. Why are you hitting the moon rock?
Oh, I guess I didn't need to do that. My bad. I don't know why I thought I needed to do that. My bad.
Oh, that's fine.
I just saw it on the map, and my instincts were to come hit it.
Oh, okay.
You should have stopped. It's fine. It's fine. No biggie.
I was explaining stuff, sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
But yeah, because, like, everything happens in very rapid succession. So, like, explaining it in real time as it happens is kind of...
Yeah.
Really awkward. The manipulation in order to get the Hammer Bros to be where you want them right away is actually to go through the painting.
Yeah, this is something I came up with. A little optimization
Yes.
I made to this island.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna gun it for this painting. It should be safe. I don't think I let...
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just warp through the painting, and then when you warp back, you immediately make a beeline for the pipe, and the timing lines up pretty much every time.
Okay, so I have to wait. It won't let me enter right away. I need to wait a beat.
Yeah, and the trick, the reason why this pattern works is because when the Hammer Bros are jumping upward, even if they're spamming their hammers, the movement of them moving upward creates a gap in the hammers themselves.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm stupid. that was really bad.
Yeah, that was late, by the way.
That was late. I was slow getting to the pipe.
Yeah.
No biggie. Yeah, I think there's a heart here, actually. Is there? No, there's not. Okay.
Yeah, so the Hammer Bro jumped, but we were already late getting into the pipe.
It's a pretty tight window to get into the pipe. If you want to make the cycle here, is what I found.
The cycle will typically repeat. It will drift over time, but like if you wait like one pass, also that should still be fine.
I'm gonna do that. That'll save me some time.
So yeah, this first one jumps up and creates a gap. He wasn't shooting at the time, but then we wait for that second one to jump up and create that gap. And you can actually wait in between them until that second one jumps if you need to without getting hit. But you gotta go through on the very next gap. For this, you want to time so that the fireball is just at the top when you enter the pipe. That way, you can just basically stand still and the fire won't hit you.
Oh, I just realized something. Just going through paintings reset your health. I never knew that.
I think so. It's considered an Odyssey.
Yeah.
Like if you stand in the Odyssey, it also resets your health.
Okay, I never knew that. I guess I could show off some more of the luncheon subs here. I could show off the luncheon trio if you want.
Ooh, spinning athletics?
Yeah, the trio, the spinning athletics.
Yeah, the trio, yeah.
It's been a very long time since I've done either of these, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, did you want to do this island with the fruit, or nah?
Nah, it's just ground pounding some cracks. It's not really worth showcasing. It's easy enough. Okay. We'll see if I remember. I did watch through my selfie list the other day, so we'll see.
Yeah. This room is really awkward. It's based on cycles. I find that you can kind of bide your time and wait for the cycles in the middle of them.
There we go.
By strategically jumping and ground pounding while you're on the circular.
And then I'm neutral stick here, so
platforms.
Mario doesn't fall off here, because Mario can on-ledge grab if your angle is just slightly off. So I just let the platform carry me.
Yeah, shimmying, anytime you're ledge grabbing, shimmying is dangerous. If you go around a corner while you're shimmering to the right, that right movement can immediately turn into down movement and push you off the ledge. So whenever you shimmy, like shimmy up and to the left or up and to the right, and if it's a circle like that, just let it take you around.
There we go. There we go.
Nice.
I do that second half a little bit quick, just because that's what I'm used to. Okay, I'm not sure if I remember how to do this last term. We'll see. Nukes, let me know if we're getting close on time, by the way.
Yeah, we're good still.
Okay. Okay, so I want to wait for this first platform here. I want to wait this cycle out.
Yeah, you can make the jump over this gap without the platform, but it's much safer to wait until the platform is there as a safety net.
Yeah, you can see I just made it. And then I think I changed this part up recently. Yeah, I did. Okay. I do this now.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, you can actually boost to a corner, but yeah, you kind of have to land on a very small area if you want to do that.
Should I go for the purples?
The other option is just to inch your way.
I'll go for the purples. Why not?
Sure.
This part is just slowly inching the control stick. Nothing major here. And then I do want to make sure I catch this cycle like that. 2 fast boosts there will get me across that end a little bit.
Nice.
What should I showcase now, Dan?
Ooh, what about the Pokio hole in the wall off the side of the cliff in Bowser's? That's a really awkward one. It's a neat strat for being safe with it.
I guess I could go to Bowser's. Yeah, I have to hit the main rock for that, though. But I could do that. Yeah. Yeah, that love above a rim's not really the most fun in the world. I'm trying to think of sub-areas I could showcase. Oh, no, what? No, I'm gonna go to sand.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I'm gonna go. Yeah. I'm gonna go to sand. This strat's fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna scare everyone in chat real quick. This is a fun strat that Dan came up with. I'm just gonna scare everyone in chat half to death real quick.
I love this strat so much.
Yeah, so this is probably the funniest strat. There were so many people. I saved this sub-area I'm about to do right here for probably like, what, 600 moons deep in my Damageless 880. And I scared so many people in chat whenever I did it. It was so good.
You can, this upcoming room, you can do super slowly and safely.
Yeah, I already have the moonrock.
Or you can be just as safe and go fast, but make it look scary.
Okay, let's showcase it. Okay, we're gonna go to this corner square right here. I'm gonna align Mario so he's facing forward. I'm gonna throw Cappy just to confirm he's directly facing forward. I guess I shouldn't have moved him. It's a little bit finicky here to get the right angle. And then I'm gonna do it's a jump dive, right? Is it just a ground? Yeah, it's a ground pound dive, right?
At the top of the ground pound jump, neutral dive.
Okay, yeah. It's a ground pound jump dive. And then I land on this invisible platform here.
And then inch your way to the key.
Yeah.
So you grab it on the way past.
Just gotta catch my ride real quick. Nothing big. I love that strategy. It looks so scary. And then for the second half of the sub area, I like to do a long jump with a little bit of air stalling to catch my second ride here. And then I just throw Cappy, and whenever he gets stuck on something, I jump over it. The second half is probably a little bit easier than the first half.
Yeah, there's a lot of recovery time if you just wait to see if you're getting pushed by the platform or not. The other alternative is taking the Moai, but the Moai moves very slowly.
Yeah, and you can get pushed
the sunglasses, so
yeah, you can get pushed
it's very
off.
awkward.
What else is there? I could maybe showcase round power that I skipped earlier.
Ooh, the sinking spire.
I guess yeah, but it doesn't really change from speedruns.
That's true. I still think Bowser's for that hole in the wall.
Okay, I could go to
a really
Bowser's.
good showcase because it's neat tech. I mean, it's it's useful to know. Oh, and the Fire Bro in Wooded.
Oh yeah, I could go there
Definitely.
first. Yeah, this is a new shot that I came up with, like way after my grind was over. No, this is wait, where's Wooded? Controller. There we go.
Yeah, and if while you're here you wanted to show how to safely capture a dinosaur, that would be good as well. If there's time.
How are we looking on time, Nukes? I don't want to go
We
over.
are at 56 minutes 30 seconds about. If you want to show off a couple more strats here.
Okay. Let me grab
If
it.
nothing else, I'd say fire in Deep Woods we should have time for.
Yeah, and it's not a big deal if we go over that 1 hour
Okay.
estimate, since it's just a post-game showcase, so.
Okay. What I want to do here is I actually want to come over to this nut, and I'm going to carry this nut over to this moon here. Mario moves really slow with this nut, but it's okay. And then I'm going to bring this nut. I'm going to throw it ahead of me a little bit. I'm going to spawn this scarecrow here, and I'm going to pick up the nut again. And then simple as, I'm just going to walk over to this fire bro. Oh, what? Okay, that hasn't happened before. I hesitated.
You hesitated and you waited until he was shooting to jump. As long as you're standing on the ground, you can show it off right here. As long as you're standing on the ground while holding a nut, you cannot take damage to the fire. As long as you pick up the nut again once you drop it.
I was pressing Y. I don't know why that didn't work. This is a bad showcase. I'm doing what?
Okay, maybe not. To move.
Maybe not.
What?
Okay, maybe not.
I'm gonna have to watch the replay on that one to see what happened.
Yeah, I tested this pretty thoroughly, and that's never happened.
Yeah,
that's
me too.
Really weird.
Let me see. I'm watching the live feed now.
That's really odd.
Let's see what happened.
When strats don't work, my favorite. You bust them out on the big stage, and then they just don't work.
Okay, yeah, that's new. Apparently, that's not a good strat. Of course, something new happens.
It wouldn't be a GDQ without one of those moments.
The worst 2 words in Damageless that you can possibly hear is, "That's new."
Yeah, that means the run's dead, typically.
Yeah.
Okay, I could safely capture
Deep Woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one has been vetted much, much, much more.
Yeah, unless you're classy gamers.
Yeah, but that's because Hill, and
Yeah.
that's part of the vetting process.
Okay, let me go find one of these nut dispensers in Deep Woods. We're gonna get a nut again, but it's gonna be much kinder this time, I promise.
Oh my gosh, I know how you could end it. If you want to end it after this showcase of Deep Woods.
I could showcase the death. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, nice.
I have the setup for it, so I can get it real quickly. I think I remember my setup. So where's this
Nice.
T-Rex? Okay, so what I'm gonna do right here is I'm just gonna stand still and this T-Rex will die. Same thing as the fire bro, but it works more consistently. There we go.
Much more consistently. As long as you're not on too high of an incline above the T-Rex,
Let me see if I can showcase him hitting me. Let's see if I can guide him over and have him hit me.
It's kind of hard to do, honestly. You need to be on a very steep hill and have him be charging.
I think I can make it happen, because I think I know where it happened to Ryan.
I tried it over there, and it was tough.
We'll see. I've never tried it before. We'll see what happens. He's gonna get knocked out again, I bet. Yeah. I'm not fast enough.
Yeah. I found, like, one place I was able to get it was closer to the pipe, or the doorway for the... Yeah.
Okay, so work right here. Will this work here? Oh my god. Are you
Closer to this,
he
yeah.
just missed.
And this was the other problem. He just doesn't want to charge.
Is it gonna happen here?
Like, it's got to be a really steep hill. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it happen. That's fine. Should I show this off now, and then we could call it, or what do we want to do?
Probably, yeah. I won $10 on this thing.
Where is the guy? Is he more this way? I know where he is from the pipe, but I don't know where he is from where I'm at. My mental map here isn't great.
Do you know from the
right here,
the plant?
Him. Yeah, I found him.
Okay.
So do you want to explain this story, or do you want me to?
Yeah. So first, uncapture and demonstrate that you can't really take damage from this dude, this coin coffer.
I need to wait for him to respond, but yeah.
The coin coffer will always be running away from you, and even if you touch the coin coffer, it doesn't cause damage.
Yeah, because there were rumors going around like a year ago or so that people thought you could just run into this guy and he'd cause a hit to Mario, but that's just not the case.
Yeah. So Cheese James bet me $10 that I wasn't able to get damaged from the coin coffer, and I found a way.
This guy moves really slow, so you're gonna have to give me a minute here. This guy might be the slowest moving capture at just base speed here. Oh, I gained some speed there. Look at that.
And this is like pretty much the only spot that I've found that this actually works.
Does he have to be facing towards me like this? Like towards...
Yes,
okay,
and then turn away.
Oh, that's... I can save it.
No, you can't. No, no way.
I have to bring him back over now. It's a tricky setup.
It's a tricky setup. It's finicky, and it's like the only spot that it works. There might be one other spot, but this is like the only spot that I found.
This was actually what I was gonna do after my damage hit 80, but I took damage in the Bowser refight.
Yeah, and the Bowser refight, unlike regular All Moons, the Bowser refight is part of regular All Moons. The Bowser refight is not part of 880 Damageless. Time ends as soon as Cappy touches the globe to bank the final 880th moon.
This guy is so freaking slow. I guess I could also show off on my way there. Oh, I have coins. Okay. This guy's coins are super strong. Watch this. These rocks don't stand a chance.
Yeah, if you don't feel confident with the dino, you can actually bring the coin coffer over to get the moon underneath the rocks there. That's another option for safety.
Oh. I guess I'm right there. Okay, this might work.
Okay.
There we go.
Nice!
That is
the coin coffer will just push Mario off the edge.
That is the only...
probably would never happen in a run unless, I don't know.
you wanted it to, yeah, unless you wanted it to.
But I guess if there's a way to take damage, I've learned that Dan will find it.
Yeah, I mean, especially... And then what we were talking about with the T-Rex that I tried to showcase was Ryan was on, that slope I was on with the T-Rex, Ryan, Classic Gamers or Ryan, was actually doing a Damageless run. And he was on the slope with the nut, and this was before we knew that you have to be a little bit careful with the nut. He was just holding the nut on the slope, and the dino ran into him, and he still took damage. So Dan just passed the $10 off to Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Well,
I won the $10, immediately lost it.
What a great ending to our Damageless showcase today. I want to thank Cheese James and T-Man Dan again for showcasing Damageless Mario Odyssey. A lot of great strats we saw today. Again, chat, make sure to give both these gamers a follow if you enjoyed this content. You can see more of it on both of their channels. And I just want to give both of you again one more opportunity to go ahead and give out any shout-outs you'd like.
I guess I can start. I stream more Mario Odyssey speedruns. Like, I've been doing a lot of almonds recently. That's been what I've been grinding over on twitch.tv/cjm_. I'm trying to go for sub 8 hours in that category. So, yeah, you can follow me over there. Lots of almonds, lots of longer streams. That's kind of my preference.
Nice. And I'll say, just follow Cheese James. I stream whenever I feel like it, so I'm not super consistent at the moment. I might get more consistent in the future, but follow Cheese James. They're good at Super Mario Odyssey. They deserve it.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah, they are. Thank you both again. Chat, that is unfortunately it for GDQ Hotfix tonight. Tonight was a little bit of a shorter night. But don't you worry, we will be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern with more Hotfix content. Make sure you stick around though, because we will be rating a speedrunner after this is over. So be sure to stick around, and we'll see you next time. Everybody, have a great night. Goodbye.
See ya.
See ya. Thanks for having me.